They're like, come on, man, just fucking say yes. We're doing a fucking thing here, you know, because you got to eat this goldfish. And I was like, bro, there's no way. And at the time, I was eating meat like a motherfucker. So it's like, I was like, I'm not gonna eat the goldfish because you're telling me to eat the goldfish, you fuck. They're like, bro, just say you'll do anything to join the fraternity. I was like, you think I'm gonna suck all your dicks?
What's up, baby? Welcome to another episode of Rated G with Gary G. Garcia and Brian Licata. I'm your host, Gary G. Garcia, along with my brother and partner in misinformation, Brian Licata. Brian's currently hanging himself because he just did a big move from Florida to Atlanta. In case anybody hasn't been following, my man is out in the ATL now. He looks like he's loving it.
No, I am. I really am. Atlanta is great, but they're just this fucking apartment complex is fucking with this.
Fuck apartment complexes, man. All of them. I've noticed just now. Did you cut your hair?
No, it's just I got a cut a couple days ago.
Because your Superman curl is looking good today, man. You got that Superman curl rocking right there, dog.
Yeah, man.
I feel you.
It's so the hair, I don't know if you can see, but you just see how like wavy it gets at the top there.
Yeah, that curl is meant to be there too, right?
I guess so, bro.
Who the fuck you think you are, James Dean or some shit? That fucking hair, fucking curl coming out. What's fucked up is even when I had hair, I couldn't rock a curl like that.
To be honest with you, I don't really think I can rock it, especially when it's the one that kind of comes down in the front. It just looks a little like
Dickish,
rapey, you know, like a Pee Wee Herman kind of.
Well, dude, that's your eyes and the rest of your face that make you look rapey. Can't blame that on your hair. Even if you was bald, you'd still look just as rapey. I think it's because you went to college. Doesn't that come with it? Once you go to college, you come out looking very rapey.
Well, it wasn't necessarily the college as it was the fraternity that did that.
Are there any fraternities without colleges?
No.
Yeah, there are. They're called gangs.
That's true. That's true.
When you join a fraternity that's not part of a college, it's called a gang. You know. But so you're weak, you moved, both your cars have gotten booted since you've been there.
Yeah. Accidentally booted too, obviously. You know, well, with Christina's cars, hers was accidentally booted.
It wasn't accidentally booted. They booted it on purpose. They just didn't give a fuck that she had the parking permit. That's like the other day I got a ticket in New York, always New York. I get a ticket every time I go there. And I paid for the parking on the app.
Okay.
They gave me a ticket saying there was no time thing in my window. What time thing am I supposed to put in the window? I pay with an app. Am I supposed to leave my phone in the window?
Right.
What are you, a fucking idiot? I mean, I wound up getting the shit taken care of. I told them I'm not paying this shit. I sent the receipt and they got rid of it. But it's like, now I got to put a sign in my window when I go to New York that says I paid on the app. Is this for real? Why have the fucking app if these people don't know about it? But the thing is, they do know about it. They just don't give a fuck about it. And they're just going to write tickets and let you deal with it later.
Right. I mean, dude, it's a revenue generator for the city. I mean, think about it. Think about how many fucking schmucks come from all over the place to go to New York City. They park the car, they pay on the app, and they get the ticket anyway. And they just pay the ticket, and the city collects that fucking money because it pays for the people who write those tickets to have the job.
I mean, when you pay with the app, the one good thing is, you get a receipt. And it's sent to you on an email. So it's 1, 2, 3, easy peasy. But it's just annoying to have to wake up, fucking get online, send this shit in. It's fucking annoying.
Right. I will say, though, I really do like how everything is on the app with the parking. It makes things super easy, like super, super simple.
In some ways it does, but in some ways it doesn't. Because now you have a maximum parking of 2 hours.
Yeah, that's not everywhere though, bro.
Not everywhere. No, I'm saying you get a maximum parking of 2 hours. You park for those 2 hours. They won't let you go back into the app for the same spot. Now you got to take your car and park somewhere fucking else for another 2 hours.
Right.
Or another 10 minutes or whatever the fuck it may be. You know what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, you go out there, you throw more money in the fucking meter.
Right.
And you can stay there as long as you want, as long as you keep feeding the meter.
Right. Yeah, that part is annoying. There's, I mean,
You know,
in the places where I've been parking with the app, though, I haven't had that issue because most of the places are for longer than 2 hours down here, or in Florida. Not.
yeah,
I mean,
I've
it's
had that
different in New
issue.
York. Yeah, definitely way different in the city.
I've had that issue, and it sucks because then you got to go in now. You got to fucking move your car.
Yeah.
You know, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them
Fuck
fucking tax
them.
grabbing fucking whatever the fuck they're there for just to grab money. Kiss my ass.
Ah.
You know,
Yeah.
kiss my ass, man. Um, so many fucking things going on. He's supposed to have my man on here today. I don't know where he disappeared to, man.
Let me. I'll send them another link because I mean, maybe there's.
Yeah, well, I mean, I called him and he still didn't even pick up. So
Uh,
I don't know what's going on with him.
maybe his car got booted.
Maybe his car got booted, dude. I mean, he's going through his own shits too. That's why I wanted to get him on here. But whatever, man. We'll flow through it like we always do, man. We don't need anybody.
Mm-hmm.
All we need is us, man. That's it. And I barely even need you. I mean, I need you because otherwise my shit wouldn't be up here. But I learned how to do this shit, buddy. And you better tread lightly.
Yeah,
I talk to myself all day.
yeah. It is. It's fun, bro. It's fun. We can do the podcast.
I am.
It's a lot of fun. I think it's been really good for me.
I've watched a couple of things this week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because they were all so different. Like the shit I watched was so different. I'll give you just an example real quick. I told you I watched that movie, The Nice Guys.
Yes, we actually watched part of it last night.
It's fucked up because it's a decent movie.
It's a good movie. I would say it's a good movie, bro.
But you haven't watched the whole movie yet.
I don't think we finished it. Did you finish the movie last night? Yeah, we fell asleep.
Yeah, it's a good movie. But what fucks it up, and this is what fucks it up for me in all these movies that are going on now, is this whole woke fucking agenda that's going on. Hold on one second.
Yep.
Danny, what's up, baby? Did you get the link? All right. So whenever you come on, we doing it. Whenever you come on, we'll bring you on. No, 10:30. But that's all right. Yeah. I hit you up yesterday. You said no problem, but you must have thought it said 11. Don't worry about it. I'm burned too. We're good. Whenever you're ready, just jump on. You don't even need to wear a shirt. We're good, man. You're on the podcast right now, actually, as I'm talking to you. So whenever you're ready, just jump on. All right. Peace. Yeah, he thought it was still 11:30. All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's on Eastern time.
So are we.
Yeah, I know. But he's a comedian. What do you want?
I mean, honestly,
you didn't have to blow him up like that, man. You could have just let people think he was,
But they know where we are, dude. Everyone knows we just set up in Atlanta.
No one knows where you are. You're always moving, dude. Yeah, you're a traveling man. But yeah, so I watched this movie. It takes place in 1977. Right? I have so many problems with this movie. And the reason why is not because it's not a good movie, just because they had to add that dumbass woke agenda into it. And I don't know if you noticed it, but if you didn't notice it, then you haven't been paying attention to what we've been doing for the last year and a half. The fucking first thing that jumped out to me right off the bat was the movie's got a single father, right? Ryan Gosling, whatever his name is a single father with his daughter. His daughter, of course, is the strong woman in the movie. She's the strong female.
Now, do you remember how the wife died? Ryan Gosling's wife. Did you remember that?
No, they never even mentioned that.
No, they did. Yes, you weren't listening.
No, I missed that.
You remember how Ryan Gosling doesn't have the sense of smell?
Yes.
The furnace was leaking at their house, right? And the wife kept saying to Ryan Gosling, you need to check the furnace. And he said, we don't have a problem with the furnace because he couldn't smell, and it exploded and killed her.
Oh. So I guess that's going back to clean air and energy and shit like that.
Well, no, it adds to the story of Ryan Gosling's character being a dumbass,
Yeah.
And not listening to his wife.
But here's the problem, which check it out, which was not odd in the 70s. Not listening to your wife in the 70s was a very regular thing.
Right.
So now you have this single father, alcoholic, raising his daughter. And his daughter is this, in 1977, this 2000 woke little girl who tells her father, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You're an alcoholic and you're the worst detective ever. What little girl in the 70s would have said that to her father? Her single father who's an alcoholic. In the 70s, she'd just be happy he's not touching her.
Right. Dude, oh my God, gee.
In the 70s, how many single fathers were running around in the 70s? Alcoholics. All right, fine. I'll let that go. Boom, whatever. She's a strong girl. Maybe there was some girls telling their fathers to go fuck themselves in the 70s. Then you got the whole thing of what the whole thing was about. You know what I'm saying, my man?
Yo, I'm an idiot.
Nah, that's all right, brother.
It's
You're
a
not
perfect,
an idiot
it's
at
a
all,
perfect rated G entrance, actually.
Actually, yes. This is how we always do it.
Nice. I'm nice and clean at least. So
Yeah, man. Looking good.
fresh out of the shower.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, man, I have a really, really great guest here. I was really looking forward to having him on. This is my brother from another mother, Danny Carabano, the owner of V Spot in New York City and in Manhattan and Brooklyn, now Brooklyn, which is what we're going to talk about. The owner of what's the name of the comedy club again, man? I always
St. Mark's Comedy Club.
St. Mark's Comedy Club. Such a beautiful fucking room. Probably one of the hottest rooms out there as far as the rooms go. And a comedian, a fellow brother comedian of mine. Danny, it's great to have you on. I just want to finish real quick. One thing I was talking about with Brian before you came on. Have you ever seen the movie The Nice Guys?
Probably. Yes.
It's on Netflix. It's with Ryan Gosling and who's the other dude?
No.
He's the other. I was afraid to watch it because of Ryan. I ain't even gonna lie, because I just know him from The Notebook, and I was like, I don't want to watch no fucking. But the fucked up thing is, I was telling Brian, it's a good movie. It's actually a very enjoyable movie, you know. But it takes place in 1977, and the whole movie got the woke agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that doesn't add up.
Like at one point, the dude's driving and he's drunk because he's an alcoholic. You remember that scene? And he falls asleep at the wheel, but he doesn't know he fell asleep at the wheel. And as he's dreaming, it says, let go of the wheel. The car will drive itself. And he lets go of the wheel and the car's driving itself. And then, of course, he wakes up and he's about to crash. You know, like, what drunk dudes in the 70s was having fucking blackouts and dreaming about electric cars? Even to the point, at the very end of the movie, Ryan Gosling goes, in another 5 or 6 years, all cars will be electric. Yeah, because that's what we were thinking about in the 70s, electric cars. You know, we weren't even thinking, we were thinking flying cars in the 70s. We were thinking Jetsons. We weren't thinking a car that just drives itself on the highway. You know what I'm saying? That shit is ridiculous, dude. All that shit.
All of a sudden, the Ryan Gosling character, I think he's like, yeah, you know, it'll be great in the future. We'll have like a decrepit president. That'll be like the best thing for us, you know?
Exactly.
He's like, that's how we'll unify the country.
And dude, the whole thing is, and this is what really killed me. The whole thing is the girl does a porno, right? And in the porno, they're supposed to be like, it's supposed to be a porno to get people to watch it. But then the underlining thing is their message against large pharmaceutical companies and large companies that are making all this money. Since when the fuck did we care about that in the 70s? The reason why they made that much money is because we didn't give a fuck about that in the 70s.
Right.
We wasn't watching Big Pharma. In fact, we were loving Big Pharma.
I'm sorry. In fact, we're definitely not watching Big Pharma right now. So that's another story.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
So I just say, like, we can get into
pretty much the same.
Everything the girls say, these fascists, they take the money. Nobody cared about that in the 70s, dude. You're taking 2,000 fucking problems and putting them in 1977. And what you did by doing that and trying to have this woke agenda in every fucking thing you do, what you did by doing that is you ruined a very good movie. You liked it. A very good movie.
I liked it. The plot was good. And I thought it was funny too.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. The only shit that turned me off was the whole fucking woke shit because it doesn't make sense. That's not what was going on in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? And then I tried to watch the shit on Woodstock 99.
I watched that also.
Yeah. I saw the previews, but I didn't see it.
Good fucking movie. But at the end, they throw in the whole woke shit, even in that. They're saying the whole shit was toxic masculinity. That's why the whole shit went off. How about the fact that you try to throw a show with 250,000 people that was supposed to be peace and love, but you had bands like Korn, Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
You had all these bands that were and they're doing mosh pits for 250,000 people. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it ain't as much toxic masculinity other than all this fucking energy being bubbled up, and you're talking about peace and love. Everyone's walking around naked, and the chicks are wondering why their titties are getting grabbed while they're in this big mosh pit, floating across 250,000 men and wondering why their titties are getting grabbed because you're an idiot. That's why, because you're a fucking idiot. You think you're going to sail across 250 raging men and no one's going to grab your nipples? You ain't got no shirt on, no nothing. They're walking around naked left and right, and they're wondering why fucking people are getting raped and shit.
I don't know if anti-capitalist is even considered woke anymore, because it's like woke is not even what it was before. But the real thing with Woodstock was it was just a money grab. So of course you're gonna have a shit outcome. So they're like, how about you can blame men all you want, but did they mention that in the fucking Netflix?
Yeah, they mentioned everything. They took everyone's water. People were coming in with water, and they wouldn't even let them keep their water. They made them come in and spend fucking. It was like $7 for a bottle of water. And then as everybody started running out of water, and all the places that deal food started losing their shit, the prices kept going up. Mm-hmm. So at one point they were paying like $9, $10 for a bottle of water, just gouging these people. And they're wondering why. I tell you, Gary,
if you and I made a movie, one day you and I make a movie, we're gonna put our fucking ideas in it like motherfuckers, So I almost can't blame them, You get a chance to make a movie, you're gonna be like just slipping it in,
I guess you're right. But that's why our movie wouldn't come out.
Yes.
That's why, you got to be in their agenda. You got to be talking what they want you to talk. I don't even know how we're on. We get pulled off every fucking time, man.
Really?
On YouTube. Shout out to Spotify for
still protecting the fucking freedom.
Keeping it 100.
So Danny, man, we were talking the other day.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get you on this, man, because your story is a story that a lot of people are going through. Like they're not showing the people that were actually, other than the people who died, of course, and whether or not they died of COVID or not is still whatever. We do know they had COVID when they died. But whether or not that's what killed them, we don't know. But then there's the other aspect of people like you, a business owner. You owned a business over at St. Mark's Place, the V Spot. You were there for 10 years?
7
years.
7 years in East Village, but actually our original location's been in Brooklyn 16 years. But that's just a restaurant.
Oh, all right. And the other one was the restaurant in the front and St. Mark's Comedy Club in the back.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So then COVID hit, and you were doing well.
I mean, I had high revenue.
Yes.
Before COVID. So when you have high revenue, people, I was losing money still because, the problem with restaurants is that as you scale, as you sell more, you now need more of everything. It's really hard to scale. Yes. And plus I don't currently launder any money, so it makes the restaurant business a lot more difficult. You know what I mean? Like, I know these restaurants with the big, these huge restaurants, they got their boy who's selling something, and they're like, so if the sales ever dip, they're like, no, today we sold like 15 grand, no problem. You know, restaurants are great for that shit. A yogurt shop, don't believe any yogurt shop. There are 0 yogurt shops in New York City that are legit. You know what I mean? They're all probably fucking heroin fronts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then COVID hits.
Yeah.
COVID hits. You have to shut down your whole thing, man.
Yeah.
What's going on over on your side now once COVID hit?
I mean, mentally, because, financially is one thing, but people don't talk about how a lot of these restaurant owners, mentally, they were just, you're going forward. Like, all that matters is stay open. No matter what happens, like, pipes are bursting, people are quitting, employees are fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it gets rough out there, it's like, it's complicated. So you're just moving forward. You're very focused, almost too focused. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, stop doing that, and then you don't know what to do, and then you don't know. A lot of restaurant owners that I know, like real legit ones, you don't want to work for someone else. You know what I mean? Like, you're the boss.
Yeah, of course. Well, like, I mean, I don't know if you know, but I opened up a restaurant right before COVID as well.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in a story, me and my boy opened up Chicken Soup. and it was bubbling. It was bubbling. I gave up my ownership to him once I started doing the comedy full time.
Okay.
You know, I felt like it was unfair to be gone all the time and whatever. So I pulled out and I gave him over my ownership. It's my boy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want nothing out of it. He still kept it running, but COVID shut him down.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
COVID shut him down. We lost the restaurant, you know, maybe the first month into COVID. You know?
Wow.
I have something like you open.
Sorry.
What happened?
How long were you open until? When did you have to
A
close?
little over a year. We were going into our second year. Yeah, in the first year, we had, you know, there was actually a little profit too, man, which is pretty much unheard of when it comes to restaurants.
Yeah, for sure.
The first year. But yeah, COVID totally wrecked us. He had to put it out.
When did you have to close the V spot?
When they mandated us to do it. I mean, the actual V spot now is closed. The St. Mark's one is closed.
St. Mark's one is closed.
Yeah.
That shit is heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah. So we still have the back room though. So like the front room is just locked up. We can't even go through that entrance. So then
how do you get into the club?
We have a side door. It's dope. It's actually better. I mean, for the club, it's better, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, look, I want everyone to make as much money as they can. You know, don't ever say no to someone offering you money, but $15 an hour, bro, that shit is rough. It is rough for a small business, you know? They should at least do like, if you have more than 20 employees or something, but, you know, that on top of everything, it's really rough.
I mean, I'm in Jersey, but I was about to say that's crazy because my son was working over at Hard Rock, which is a $1 billion fucking place. They make billions, and they were paying $12.50.
That's in Jersey, though.
That's in Jersey, but I don't think that's minimum wage though. I still think that's under minimum wage.
No, it's high. It's higher than minimum wage, bro. It's much higher.
That's what I'm saying. They still pay them under the minimum wage.
No, that's over the minimum wage, bro.
That's over the minimum wage.
In Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey's minimum wage. Oh shit. In 2022, it's $13 an hour. Wow.
So it's under the minimum wage.
But servers have a lower minimum wage than regular jobs.
Of
so
course.
So because you're getting the tips. So like even in New York, it's like maybe it's like $12 or something like that.
Right.
Well, we were paying them 15 anyway because the thing is that because the restaurants got closed down, and then first of all, you don't know when and what's going to happen, you know, and you know, science it's very tricky. It's always changing, so we never know. We never know what's going to happen.
It's also not, you know, it's also very fallible
and also very political.
And very
political, I mean. I used to
hate when people say that now. You got to look at the science. What science? Science is out the window now.
Bro, it's not, you know, science is not like math is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Science just means research.
Yes.
So whenever they tell you to trust the science, they're actually quoting you numbers. So they're technically saying trust the math. So the question is, well, where did you get that math from? You know, so that's a whole other thing. But like, science is not, obviously we know you can't trust science because it's not like anymore. You know, the whole thing will never. I mean, science has been wrong this entire time. So in defense of everyone, no one's gotten anything right. You know what I'm saying? Like, what have we gotten right?
You make a good point though, like with science, right? So we talk a lot about like the flat earth and stuff like that. And scientists for a long time believed the earth was flat, right? And now we're on this round earth, you know, period, but it changes back and forth. But not even just that. Everything in science is always advancing and learning more. So the nature of science is to prove stuff to be either wrong or true. So continually you make corrections off of past assumptions. That's kind of how it works.
Well, that's the way it used to work.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, I saw this documentary where scientists are saying that you're not getting paid to see if this is true or this is not true. You're getting paid to make sure that it comes out that this is true.
But didn't we used to say that women, you had to take out their uterus if they started bitching too much? I mean, wasn't that like science as well?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
A hysterectomy, like I'm pretty sure science has been fucked the entire. This is.
I mean, there was a time when doctors were just hitting your lady up with a dildo.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The doctor's like, listen, I need to fuck your wife. She's very stressed out.
She's very stressed out. They'd bring her in, hit her with a vibrator. She'd bust a nut, and then they send her home happy.
Yeah, right. We would do filling.
But yet still very much resentful of her husband.
Yeah, still resentful. She's like, yo, you couldn't make me come like the dentist could. So yeah, I don't know if science is one thing. If in terms of an agenda, the step one of any agenda is to make you feel like everything is new, to make you feel like you're experiencing this for the first time. But if I were in charge of shit, I would just do like they do in the movies. Just keep doing remakes. Just keep doing remakes. So you and I feel like some new shit is happening. Oh, my time is different. This is, we all want to feel special, but I'm pretty sure science has been fucked throughout time. Wasn't there something with the headaches and they would just pop a hole in your head? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, they would do that for, they would do lobotomies and stuff like that.
Lobotomies.
Yes, yeah, that movie with Jack Nicholson or whatever, right?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah,
there's also Shutter Island too. Which is
true.
Yeah, Shutter Island.
Yeah, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, they actually show you make that dude into a veggie.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, he was very rebellious. He was getting everybody, to rebel and shit, and they shut him down. They gave him a lobotomy.
Hells yeah.
No, he was just a fucking lump on a chair. Yep.
Even math that's supposed to be pure, when it got involved with politics, back then politics and religion was the same thing. So Arabs invented the number system. We use the Arabic number system. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's from Arabs or whatever you want to call that. But it's called the Arabic number system. So that's why I say Arab. So at the time in Europe, if you said the number 0 was real, they would fucking murder you in public. Like, you would get killed. They would actually have a trial. And you'd be like, oh, number 0 is real. They're like, he's a Satanist, kill him. And then they would literally kill you. It was like against the law by penalty of death to believe in 0 or negative numbers. So that shit is legit. But then Arabs were trading and they invented money. So they were like, yo, you owe me money. So then, isn't it funny how politics get, like, they want to prove these people are evil. They're like, look, they believe in negative numbers. They have to be, it's complicated, bro. So
interesting.
See, but that's what it comes down to too. Like, it's like everything at some point, all our reality at some point was created in a sense. In other words, numbers were created by somebody, words were created by somebody, and everybody just said, okay, yeah, we'll use those. So like now, math is supposed to be infallible. Math is supposed to be math. Unless you get the answer wrong, there's only one right answer. There's not a million. It can't be 2 + 2 can't be anything you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? 2 + 2 is 4. That's what it is. You can't, but now they're trying to create new shit and get rid of all the old shit that we've been knowing for years. And to me, it's like, that's not how it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, there has to be something that we stick to. It's been around long enough. This is what it is, which is getting back to that flat earth shit. I sit there and I go, there was a time I would be like, you're ridiculous. That's ridiculous. The earth is round. It's what I was taught since I was fucking in kindergarten. But now you look at what they're teaching kids in kindergarten now. These kids are going to grow up thinking that boys could be men could be boys. You can pick whatever you want. Doctors guess your sex. They're going to believe that. And then they teach that to their children and their children. And the next thing you know, that becomes the reality.
Well, gee, you were telling me something the other day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just becomes the reality. And then if someone said to them, no, that can't be done in 30 years from now, if this continues and in 30 years someone goes, men cannot be men. I mean, men cannot be women and women cannot be men. They'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're stupid. Of course they can.
But there's reasons why these things happen. It's like this. Well, first of all, I mean, sorry, Brian, you want to say something first?
No, go ahead. I'll jump in.
So, like, for example, like, if you say, oh, a woman is, like, we don't even know how to define that per se, but we're going to relate it to having children, right? We're going to relate.
I know how to define it. I have no problem defining.
Well, hold on, let me get there real quick. To us, we associate women probably with making babies, or is that wrong to say?
Yeah. A woman is an adult female with a uterus, vagina, titties, and has the ability to have children.
So yeah, of course. So old women are not included in that. Like, my mom doesn't have like her uterus.
No. All women. Your mother had you.
But my mom like had her thing removed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
So,
it was
but the
there.
point is,
she was born with it. It gets removed. That look, like there's little intricacies. There's some women who can't have babies. Does that make her any less of a woman? No, that doesn't make her any less. She still has a vagina. She still has breasts. She still has what? Let's keep it real, man. Women, we know what a woman is.
The chromosome,
you know what I'm saying? A woman doesn't have a pecker.
Yeah, so chromosome wise, right? Yeah, because that'd be more specific. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that'd be more specific. You know what I mean? So, but you have to understand, like, okay, for example, if only men go to war, right? If only men go to war, which at a time only men went to war,
Yes.
is it so crazy if I'm like, no, I'm a woman? Is that really the craziest thing you've ever heard? If I'm like, nah, I'm a woman.
I don't want to go to war. I'm a woman.
I'm a woman. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be treated
And
like
if
you
you
never
pull that
woke up
shit
one
back in the
morning. Yeah.
70s,
Yeah.
they'd be like, yeah, dude, all right, here's a little bra. I'll put that under your freaking thing and you're going to war.
Yeah.
Because you're a dude. Because you're a dude.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, Gary, you never woke up one morning want to be treated like a princess?
He wakes up every morning trying to be treated like a queen.
I'm a diva. What do you want,
Exactly.
man?
You know what I'm saying?
Anyone
Like,
who knows me knows I'm a
this
diva.
shit is not even
I'm
that
wondering how come
complicated.
today when I went to brush my teeth, there weren't birds on my window ledge handing me my toothbrush.
Holy shit.
A couple flying in with your bath towel.
Oh,
So I want to get back to what you went through as far as with the
sorry.
with the company. So everything, so they shut down, man. What were you doing during the shutdown? To just try to get through it. How what was the whole thing?
I mean, I was smoking the most amount of weed I could possibly smoke. I mean, weed sales. That's why the essential workers was like waiters, nurses, and the weed dealers, because we fucking needed them. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest,
the same thing with alcohol too. Anytime there's depressions or any of that stuff,
yeah.
Alcohol
what's
consumption
crazy
and all
though
that goes
is my
up.
my alcohol consumption went down.
See,
because
sorry, yeah, that's actually going on nationwide right now, especially people like under the age of like 35. That drinking is tumbling in use. Like a lot of people, my age bracket and younger aren't drinking like the older generation did.
Good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of
good. Alcohol is horrible. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
drink it every day.
Yeah,
but it's horrible. It is. It is the gateway drug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last time I saw you, I was definitely hammered. It's definitely the gateway drug.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it is the gateway drug.
Definitely.
Everybody always like say marijuana is the gateway drug.
Yeah, no way.
No, everybody drinks before they do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually through the drinking. You're fucked up. You'll try the other shit because you're not drinking. You're not thinking right. You've been drinking all fucking night.
Right.
So you're like, yeah, let me try that cocaine. Then you do it. You live. And then you're like, oh, it didn't kill me. Let me try it when I'm not so drunk. And then you realize, oh, this cocaine shit ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Until you do a lot of it, and then your teeth are falling out, and you're picking your boogers and eating them because there's still some residue in there.
Yeah, or you're telling your friends about your most recent business plan, and you're just like, last night that happened to me. This dude's clearly coked up, and he's like, listen, I'm gonna take this comedy club Saturdays 8 p.m. I got it. I'm gonna pack this place out, and I'm like, I started realizing he's just coked up, and he thinks he can do all these things, and I'm like, bro. It's not cute.
I know that's the crazy thing. People think they can just open up clubs and they're gonna pack it in.
Yeah, they're gonna
pack it in.
Sure, pack it in 75 times, which you can't even do that. But you got to do this shit every day, twice a day for fucking years. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
yeah, just don't worry. We're just gonna pack it in. That's like when people come up to me, they see me in AC and they go, "Why aren't you in Radio City? You should be playing in Radio City Music Hall." And I'm like, are you offering me a gig? Or do you honestly think I could just go to Radio City Music Hall and be like, hey, how you doing? My name's Gary G. Garcia. I'm a comedian. I'm really good. I want to play here next month. And they're just going to give it to me. What are you doing? Helping out in Vegas. Do you know someone in Vegas that wants to give me a gig? Have gig will travel, people. Instead of wondering why I'm not someplace, it's because you haven't gotten me there yet. You haven't gotten me the gig.
It's true. Yeah, people always would tell me, why'd you open in Jersey? Why'd you open in Jersey? And I'm like, bro, people don't know that I don't think ever really profited money. I know that sounds crazy, but for sure.
No, you basically was able to live. And,
yeah,
kind of keep going day by day, which is what we
just move into the basement of the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you got to do. But like,
so that's what you did, right? When the lockdown came, you eventually wound up moving into the restaurant.
I did move into the restaurant. Yeah, it's true. There's a shower down there. You know what I'm saying? We have the bathroom with a bidet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not totally classless.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. See, you shouldn't even have said that, because now they hear that, workers hear that, and then everyone's gonna fucking want a bidet. They're gonna say that we don't got good working conditions because we're not able to clean our ass properly.
Well, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, speaking of which, there was this pandemic. I think they called it a pandemic, and they said it was this health emergency, right? But did the health department ever show up to the restaurant during the pandemic? Fuck no. I'm like, yo, why does this agency exist? other than to give us you're saying there's a health emergency. How do you know I'm not fucking sneezing in every single order? Like,
Never came, not once.
never showed up, not one fucking time, the entire fucking time.
Can you walk us through like 2 weeks before the mandates came down, and then like the first like couple months, like just like a little bit of the story, because I don't really know all the details.
So basically, it just hit random. Like, so there was like January where they were like, oh, China is locking down. By the way, China locked down this Thursday. They locked down Chengdu province a couple days ago. So yeah, 21 million residents. You can look it up. Chengdu.
For what?
Because of COVID. They have a zero COVID policy. Yeah. So on Thursday, so what's today? Today's Saturday. So 2 days ago, the Chengdu province of China, 21 million residents locked down. You can only leave your house for 2 hours for essential needs. You know what I'm saying?
I love the way they give those. You can only leave your shit for 2 hours. Like what? It can't spread in 2 hours? Does it take two hours and 5 minutes to spread?
Yeah, 21 million people. Nation pursues a rigid COVID zero policy with dogged determination. The country reported 1,800 new local COVID-19 infections on Friday in 25 out of its 32 provinces and municipalities. Interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Chengdu,
2 days ago.
Sixth largest city in China.
Do you think they would be able to do that again out here?
I mean, people love getting locked down.
In some
I'm not
states,
gonna lie,
bro,
dude. I wasn't even like, I was one of the dudes who wasn't complaining. I really wasn't. I was not. I was in the best health possible. I was eating. I was cooking for myself. I was saving money.
Dude, I was crushing the game. I mean, and you know what? I was always losing money. So to me, it's like, how is this any different? You know what I'm saying? Now I get to lose money, but not work. This is amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So it was everyone, you know what it is? No, the people that are really, really happy with their lives, like the club kids, I feel bad for them, but hopefully they were doing the underground. You know what I'm saying? Like those kids that were, you know, like this kid, I feel a little bad for him. You know what I'm saying? He was in the shower with the Molly, fucking crying with the fist pump. I mean,
I don't care for them. I don't feel sorry for them assholes. Welcome. Do what I did. Take the Molly, get in the shower, put the music loud, and just dance. I was tripping on everything when I was here too, man. I went into my drawers and everything. I found like so many old hits of acid and mushrooms. I found a full pipe of DMT. I was getting busy for the first like month. First month, 2 months, I was like, yeah, chilling. But then, you know, then it just got enough's enough.
Yeah.
You know, it got to a point of enough's enough. All right, so COVID hits, you locked down.
Yeah, we locked down basically. My mom told me she had COVID. And then so I didn't know at the time, you know, to me, I was like, all right, well, it's my mom. So I was like, I felt emotional. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my mom is just chilling. Her main thing, and this is like the real COVID, like the alpha COVID, which was just different. People talk about Omicron. Omicron is basically, it's just nothing like, because I got sick in the beginning and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I lost my sense of smell. That never happened to me before. And I was very lethargic. Like I couldn't walk. Like I was like, that's weird, you know?
I still feel that way. I'm still
drugs.
Tired every single day.
It's the drugs and alcohol, bro.
Exhausted. It could be.
We know that. It's the drugs and alcohol. It's fine. And the smoking, bro. The smoking, the cigarettes, that'll get you dragged.
But I've been doing that all my life, dude.
And you've always felt like this.
Yeah.
No.
You just now are in your 50s and you're feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, like, to me, like, that was jab, uppercut right there. He was actually waiting to throw the 50s.
He very rarely gets anything good in, so I'll let him get it.
Let him have it.
He's not a comedian like us, dude. He's not that funny.
Oh, nice. So it means a lot.
Yeah,
more.
I'm good looking though. So
you got that.
Not the best looking one here today, dog. Usually you're the better looking one, but we got my man. Look how handsome this brother is, man. His mother and father make some fucking beautiful kids, dude. Him and his brother, both two handsome dudes.
My father had a mission in this country, and it was to fuck a white lady. So, you know, congratulations to him, you know. Colombians fucking Brooklyn white ladies, you know. But my mom is like part.
And now out of that came Spanish vegan food.
Exactly. So, you know, please, Spanish dudes out there, fuck a white lady today, drop a baby in her for the good of the country. You know what I'm saying?
For the good of the country.
Not much has changed in the last 50 years.
Yeah. Yo, what's messed up is people ain't having babies no more, yo.
Yeah.
They're not. They're doing a lot of fucking, but not having a lot of babies. So
Yeah,
now
or they're kind of having a part of a baby and then they're vacuuming it out. So that's the vacuum cleaner. I never thought would be such an effective tool.
I guess I don't have to ask you where you stand on that. I don't even know how it's a controversy. My attitude when it comes to that, anybody who wants to complain, welcome to equality. That's equal. Now you are fully equal to a dude because we have never had to say as to whether or not the baby would be born. We never had to say. We were always left there to see, is she going to have it, not going to have it, you know, or if you wanted it and she didn't, which I fell into that case. You wanted it, she didn't, baby's gone. You don't have to say. Now you don't have to say either. And when they talk about choices, what about all those choices you make before you got pregnant? There's a bunch of choices you could have made to not get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? At what point do we face consequences to our actions?
I mean,
that's what it's all about.
Death, you know, even as you know,
and it's a shame to look at a child as a consequence, but
yeah, it is.
But if you have kids, you know that's what it is. It's
for me, like as a vegan, as I get older and I get closer to my own death, you know, a lot of vegans are like, oh, trying to stop death. You know,
wait a minute, you're vegan. Doesn't that mean you're gonna live vegan forever now?
Yeah, right. I'm vegan 19 years. Can you believe that shit? And I'm like, I'm 45.
You look pretty healthy for a vegan. I would not have believed that, yo. Because you still got cheeks.
Yeah, I got the cheeks, but this fucking, it didn't do anything about the gray. You know what I mean? I should have shaved. But the gray people don't mind. So
I mean, I got gray, but you still got hair. Maybe I should have went vegan.
Nah, dude. I fucking like an idiot. I took Propecia back in the day. So otherwise it would have been bald. Yo, Propecia, don't take it. That's a Pfizer product, by the way. And it gives you limp dick. So I was 22 taking Propecia and
wondering what's going on with you.
What do I need a whole head of hair for if I got no dick?
Exactly, because now you can pull the chicks, but you can't do shit with them. Seeing so smacking them in the cheeks with a floppy dick. That ain't no fun for anybody.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, what are you gonna do? But
well, I mean, you still got good coverage, so you took enough of it to keep it around. You still got good coverage.
I stopped taking it 16 years ago. So, but yeah, it took like 2 years to fucking get back on track. I did like maca. Maca's like this root powder. It's really good. It gives you boners. I mean, it gave me boners, you know what I'm saying? And then you had to fuck with the Kegels. You know about the Kegels? The squeezes? You guys do the squeezes? Let's do it together.
Yeah, I put a wet towel and I lift it like that.
Dude, that's
when I come out the shower. That's why I'm still so mighty, dude. You take a wet towel, hang it right over, and then lift it. Lift the towel.
Look at you. You know what I'm saying? That's great. Can you show us? I'm sorry.
It is rated G.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, dude, that means
yeah, rated G for Gary.
It's all good.
So what made you become vegan in the first place? Way back when?
So it's interesting. So I actually had become, I'll try to make it quick. I have to go back to like college. So there was like one moment where, I was in a fraternity, right? And it's funny because I was in this fraternity because I thought it was fun. And I was the only kid, maybe two other kids who just didn't get hazed in this fraternity. Because if you're like, what do we call it? Is there another phrase for conspiracy theorists? If you're someone who just doesn't believe the masses ever, and I've always been that way, if a mass of people tell you to do something, your first instinct is to say no. You know what I mean? So they whip out a goldfish and they're like, yo, will you do anything to join this fraternity? And I was like, no, I mean, obviously not. That's a stupid question. You know what I mean? They're like, come on, man, just fucking say yes. We're doing a fucking thing here, you know? Because you got to eat this goldfish. And I was like, bro, there's no way. And at the time, I was eating meat like a motherfucker. So it's like, I was like, I'm not going to eat the goldfish because you're telling me to eat the goldfish, you fuck. They're like, bro, just say you'll do anything to join the fraternity. I was like, you think I'm going to suck all your dicks? Sorry, is it tonight? I was like,
dude, you say what I'm doing. I'm smoking a blunt right here.
You know what I'm saying? You think I'm going to suck all your dicks to join your fucking group? Like, guys.
I think Brian did that.
I didn't do that, no.
Or at least
he was already doing it. And they were like, well, we didn't have to ask him. He already blew me. So you're in.
Dude, you're perfect for us. Just come on down.
So I had that was my first experience with like the animal because it was alive. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like something felt wrong about it. But then, it just seemed wrong. I don't know.
Well, there's a reason it felt wrong. They were giving you a fucking goldfish to swallow against your will. There's so many fucking things wrong with that. It's ridiculous.
There's so many levels of wrong there. You know what I mean?
Sitting there eating a live fish.
Slope,
You're gonna
you know
feel that shit flopping around for a second in you
oh,
too.
Shit. Really? Oh,
it's not gonna die instantly.
Yeah.
It's gonna take it a second for your stomach acids to destroy. You're gonna feel that shit fucking
swimming down,
moving around. Yeah.
Creepy. What if he tries to come back upstream?
Ooh,
which he probably will.
Just covered in hydrochloric acid. It'd be like a horror movie. Oh, they should make a horror movie like that with a mutant fish. Fucking, it'll be like Aliens Part 7 or whatever.
That's fucking horrible, dude. So you wouldn't eat the fish.
I wouldn't eat the fish. Then afterwards, it turns out
you still got in.
I still got in, yeah. So afterwards, it turns out nobody eats the fish. They give you a fake thing, and that tells you it's just psychological. Because after the thing, the fish is still alive. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, no one ate the fish. The kids all thought they ate the fish, but they were making them eat I guess the head guy's cum or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like, let's just, we're not going to do anything cruel and make you eat a fish. We're just going to swallow my load.
But you did swallow fucking Jason's load over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking Brock just fucking shot a nut on a fucking piece of marshmallow that you thought was a fish. Gross.
So that was my first experience. And then the second one was because I was like a business major, right? So they would give you, I was math and business double majors. So then.
Oh, so you actually went to college to learn something.
I did. Well, it was Albany. So, but I didn't learn that much, to be honest. But it was great for like socialization and like, I learned Excel kind of, the spreadsheets a little bit.
Yeah.
Not
I mean, I know Excel and I didn't go to college.
Yeah. So college is more.
I mean, look at it this way. In this view right now that everybody's watching, right? We got 2 college goers, right? You and Brian both went to college. I did not. And here we are together.
Exactly.
Pretty much all in the same situation.
Yeah, college is for socialization. College is for like the guy who, like my business partner is someone I went to college with. When we were supposed to go out of business in April, the guy who lent me money to stay open until now, although I still am closing, was my college roommate. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what
college
it is.
Is for relationships. Yeah,
secret societies.
Yeah, exactly. Even that fucking whatever Harvard bullshit. All these cocksuckers. Sorry, I'm sounding like a hater. But
no, that's
they're
all right. You
building.
Can hate, dude. That's what Rated G's all about.
Them. But they're just building relationships that they use later on. You know what I mean? You use the name to get into the club of that job, but really it's the relationships and how you got there in the first place. Probably a relationship with your parents, who have relationships with other people. Right. So college is more about who you know. You don't learn that much.
Yep. 100%.
Now, are you affected at all by the loans that they're forgiving the loans? Is that helping you out? It's helping Brian out. Brian's got me paying some of his loan off. Am I paying off any loans for you?
I mean, basically, look, I already forgave my own college loans a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? So come on. I don't, someone sends me a piece of paper. I'm like,
you, Danny.
You want me to think this piece of paper is like, I can't. It's the same thing. It's not conspiracy theorists. It's not even quite rebel. It's something about like, I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like I'm a nice person, but don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. The loan company.
People telling me what the fuck to do. Fuck Fauci.
Yeah.
Fuck him, man. He don't know what my dick looks like, man. He's not my doctor. I never met this man. I don't take advice from strangers.
He might have seen a picture of your dick, though. You don't know.
Yeah, seriously. I'm desperately now. We're just, one more mention of your dick, and you're gonna have to show us all.
I'm gonna have to lay it on the.
It's not. I don't want to just see it on its own. I want it in a sweatsuit. Like that fucking Guido dude from fucking Brooklyn lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it in the gym.
I actually got a sweater that I throw on it with fake arms. It's got like these fake arms.
I hope it doesn't have real arms because that sounds like you might.
I think I just came up with $1 million idea though.
Dude, that should be the host of the podcast from now on. Your cock that's like a fucking Brooklyn Guido.
In a turtleneck with fake arms.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You'd fucking hit 1 million views. Like,
it's got to make sure it doesn't have any zippers on it or anything like that. It's got
to
It's got to be a pullover.
Yes, it's got like
a pullover.
Yeah, definitely a pullover.
It would be a Bill Cosby turtleneck sweater. I just finished watching the documentary. Let's talk about Bill Cosby.
Oh, I didn't know there was a documentary.
It's on Amazon. It is crazy. It's the dude. the whole thing is this, and this is where I we've spoke about this before, Brian. Separating the man from the art. Can you do it? I mean, the dude was a slime. He was raping chicks. He was raping chicks. He was knocking chicks out and raping them on a regular basis, yo, for major years. And he openly spoke about it. The truth is, he openly spoke about it. He spoke about it on Larry King, talked about how he slipping shit in the drinks. Yeah, there's a video footage of him with Larry King, and he's talking about, you put a little bit in there, and woo, they start and then they got the episode with the barbecue sauce in the Cosby Show, where they say, oh, because everybody was fighting, and then he has a barbecue, and everyone now is all holding each other, and he says to his wife, "You never noticed how every time we have barbecues, everybody gets all lovey-dovey?" And she's like, "What?" He goes, "It's the barbecue sauce." He said, wow. "I got a cup of it by our bed right now. What do you say we go up there and drink it?" And they go, "All right." And she goes, "Everybody enjoy your chicken." And they're walking out. And the little black kid goes, "Man, I really love this." He's eating the barbecue sauce. And he's there with Rudy, right? That was the name, Rudy, or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
He's sitting there with her, and he's eating the barbecue. And they come over and they snatch it out of his hand and wipe his mouth and then snatch all the fucking barbecue shit and leave. So obviously there was some sort of shit in there to make people horny. Wow. Then he also has the whole bit on Spanish Fly. So in other words, he was always telling people this is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Not to make it right. It doesn't make it right. I hope nobody thinks that I back this man in the sense of him raping women. But
it seems like you're doing the opposite. It seems like you're calling him out and showing receipts.
But here's where the but goes. The but is that he also did a lot of great things, especially for his people, for black people.
Yeah, there's a couple great videos of him supporting black people.
Yeah,
and the city of Philadelphia too. He did tons of shit for Philly.
Yo, dude, he did so many things that if he wasn't a rapist, this dude would be, you know what I'm saying?
God, bro.
So then the question then becomes, though, this is where it gets crazy. Did he do all those good things because he knew he was doing so many bad things? And somewhere in his head, he's hoping it balances out when it comes time to meet his maker. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he did. I think he sincerely did those things. I think he sincerely, did what he did for black. Now, here's the thing that I have too. Like, all right, so he's a piece of shit, but he was playing a character. He's an actor. He was playing a character on that show. Now, because he's a piece of shit, does that mean that the values he portrayed on that show aren't the values we should shoot for?
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, in other words,
it tarnishes the whole show for sure.
It tarnishes him. But my attitude is, just because he couldn't reach that bar, should we lower the bar? The bar's up there. Not too many people could reach that bar. That's why we strive for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Who's trying to lower the bar though? Why are you saying?
What I'm saying is that, like, he didn't turn around and just be a dick on TV because he was a dick in real life. He still was that dude that was like, he didn't want to show. He wouldn't play a role if it showed black people in a negative way.
I think more specifically, if you're saying if the Cosby Show is banned, then that means that's fewer black people watching the Cosby Show, which is less black empowerment, which I think, it's important to know that, like, people putting it down all the time. The show itself
was fucking great.
The show itself is like, yo, we're crushing the game. You can crush it too. Stop letting white people tell you that they're fucking the only ones who can win. Fuck them, kind of thing. And so, yeah, there is a loss. There's a value loss to the black community to not watch that.
Yeah.
So
even though now it's back on.
Oh, it is on.
It is on. You can catch it on certain channels. It's not
on any of the major ones. It's all about banning. It's about banning.
It's on the History Channel.
So yeah, it's like
he was a horrible dude who did some really great things.
It's just about banning. Like, you should be banning books. I mean, I don't know how many books you should even. I don't know if you should be banning any books.
You should not do nothing.
I don't think you should ban any books. But the point is, when I say books, I mean movies. I mean songs. So if you shouldn't ban a book, I mean, you shouldn't ban anything. But I don't know, like.
Well, now, what about the books that they're trying to get into these schools? These books about, transgenderism and trying to get them in school, and they're trying to get them out of school. In school, you should be allowed to ban books.
See, bro, the hard part that I have
in school, there's certain ages that should be allowed to read certain shit.
The hard part about that, man, is the public education system in America is just that. It's the public education system. So in every state, the state's the ones dictating, what fucking goes. And each state is going to have different stuff. And I think they don't even really there's too much fucking fakery in the news now about what they're teaching in schools, bro. There really is, because they're saying all this stuff about critical race theory and like all this shit in the South, but that's not really what they're trying to put in the books. It's not what the conservative news media is putting out that the liberals are trying to do, and vice versa. The conservatives to the liberals, you know what I mean? With that, like, don't say gay and like all that, it's all blown way the fuck out of proportion.
Well, the whole don't say gay shit is not don't say gay. It's that they're not going to teach young kids about fucking sexual orientations. That's what it is. No one needs to know what the teacher does at home.
But these things,
I never cared.
Like, it's a quick subject change, but I'm gonna wrap right back. Like,
yep.
I remember this like Malcolm X quote where he said, and he would always be really hard on Democrats because they're disgusting pieces of shit, you know, like they're the ones who will lie to you. And like, I'm a registered Democrat, but like, it's just, I didn't realize what was going on. It's like, they'll lie to you always behind some cause. And he said, we don't need them because we don't need any new laws. Okay. There's already laws that protect people. Okay. We're people. Like, a Democrat saying we need laws is kind of saying black people aren't like people. Like, they're a different group of people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they're not. They're the same group of people like everyone else. So we have laws that protect people. We have laws that protect. That's it. So whatever law protects the white man is going to protect me too. I don't need you. The work has been done already. You know, so that the way I connect those two is that like there are laws about children and what they're allowed to see, whether we agree with them or not. So there's no need to like ban any book or anything, because whatever the state's law is, like, that's the law. Like, so if that book is talking about people fucking, I don't know if books are allowed to do that. But so if people are doing that, then maybe the state, not me. I mean, maybe the state would say we don't want children reading a book about sex or something. So I don't think we need to add. When you start adding more laws, I mean, that's more for division, in my opinion.
Yeah,
100%.
Of course.
The thing that I think is really important for everyone to realize that the laws really don't mean anything. The important part about the law is the follow through and the oversight of that law. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing that actually matters, because there's tons of laws that still exist and are on the books, and they never take laws off. They only update and change and make amendments and stuff like that. They never strip and repeal laws. I mean, they do. It's very, very rare though. But the enforcement behind it is all that matters. Like in the South here, the window tinting laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have them, but no one ever enforces it. So the law, you know, doesn't actually exist. And with all these things that go on in the schools, like say the state of New Jersey mandates something, right? But if that never trickles down to the teacher, who they really don't have that much oversight of, then it actually doesn't, then it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, they really don't have much oversight, because the truth is they're telling teachers not to teach this shit. And you go to TikTok and you got all these teachers going, I'm still going to teach it.
Right. And then it's the thing that I've always said about, you know, I know some people who may or may not have sent marijuana through the mail, you know, but the thing with the post office is it's the scale of everything that the general American person doesn't realize how difficult it actually is for the government to oversee any of this shit, you know? That's what the public doesn't get.
This reminds me of, and I know the subject's changing a lot now, but
that's right. We flow where it goes.
It's the same subject, man. I think it is.
So my father would always say, so my father's Colombian, and he just, you know, he had a couple opportunities, but he was like, I don't want to get into the drug thing. But he's like, I do know enough to know that they say it's illegal, but it's legal. Okay. Cocaine is legal in this country, especially if you're white and you have some money. But he said, how are they going to find some guy who put a bomb in his shoe, but they can't catch a cargo ship of cocaine coming in every single day? They can't find that amount of cocaine. And he's like, you really think they found the shoe, but not the boats and planes? Like, he's like, I don't think so. He's like, yeah, the law is there it's like that speed limit, 55 miles an hour, but it means you can go 64, you know? So
yeah,
he's like, you know, they put the laws out there for the scrubs, you know? He didn't say scrubs, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's like, laws are there to keep those who don't know out of it. And the elites know that that's just a suggestion. And then they do whatever the fuck they want.
And
because
the truth is, if you have enough money, bro, you can
I love it.
Do whatever you
I
want.
love it. That's the best way I ever heard it put. You at least know that that's just a suggestion. Don't kill nobody. was a suggestion to think
I'll
about.
keep it in mind.
I'll take into consideration.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking about it before the show, and the easiest way to look at it is like within business, right? Like, say, I get some work done on my house or my car or whatever, and the guy gives me some fuckery. Just tell him to fuck off. I'm not paying you, bro. And that happens all the time in America, and you can do that literally with anybody and anything. But
I've been saying it for a long time. It's like what
to be fearful. The public education system is just designed to get people to toe the line and to get us adapted to be, well listening adults to the system. That's all it is. And that's
it's like he said though, when it comes to those
the system, bro, the system has no control over your actions. It just makes it so you perceive that it has control over your actions. When
it's like he said, he forgave his loans a long time ago.
Exactly. I was like,
I've done that with all my shit.
So
I told you the story where that dude said to me, I owed like $2,000 in water, in a water bill. I owed $2,000. And I said, I don't got it. And the dude sounded like a straight up mobster. He was talking to me with like, you owe some money over here. I'm like bugging. I almost thought it was fake because he sounded like a mobster. And I said, listen, I understand I owe you $2,000, but you're going to have to get in line because I don't have it. And you can't take blood from a stone.
Yeah.
And that's when the dude said to me, you, my friend, are not a stone. And I thought that was one of the greatest comebacks I ever heard, but he still didn't get the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I still didn't give him the money. Still haven't given him the money. Nobody's knocked down my door yet. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I'm still doing what I got to do. My credit is still good. Fuck y'all, man. I forgave myself a bunch of loans for a long time. I just,
fuck that's the way to do it.
Here's a fucking great example of what just happened to my fiance, Christina, right? She bought a car from CarMax, right? Her payment was like, whatever, $250, $300 a month. She's been making double payments to try to just, pay that principal down. So, but as she's been doing that, CarMax has been taking her payment of say $250 and applying it to the principal, and then taking some, applying it to the interest, and then taking the remaining and putting it in a separate account. And then each month they pull it from that account to the principal and the interest, and they leave.
So they make it like you're still just paying $300 a month.
Correct.
You just have it in the bank. So when your next payment comes, we'll take it out of that bank.
She called them and she was like, yo, what the fuck? And the lady, she said, was super sweet to her. She's like, yeah, so what you have to do is you can't do this online. You just have to call. You call and you say, I want to make this amount to my principal, this amount to my interest, but you have to do that every month. If you do it online, it doesn't work like that.
Wow.
But listen, these are the things. And Gary was talking about a parking issue in the city, how he paid on the app and the meter maid gave him a ticket. People will, this is the way the world works. People will pull shit on you if you let them. Right?
Oh yeah,
they'll take what you let them get. Trying to pull shit on us forever. Businesses try to pull shit on us forever, but if you don't let them do it to you, they can't do it.
This does actually circle back because this goes back to indoctrination in the schools. Okay, so how are you? Again, nothing's changed. We feel like things have changed, but nothing's changed. It's just there's different words and maybe a couple of different issues. But I quit teaching. Okay, I was a teacher for 6 years. I taught math, computer programming at Brooklyn Tech High School. It's a great school.
I know some smart fucking people.
Yeah, and Brooklyn Tech was great.
I don't know why.
The kids were not the smartest, but the smartest kid turns out wasn't the smartest. The smartest kid was the one who followed the instructions the most closely without thinking. So Brooklyn Tech didn't have the smartest. They had like more, to me, the smarter kid technically, but like really they didn't have the highest grades. That's why they ended up Brooklyn Tech, but they were the best, and for a while, not now. Now it's more of a mess, but whatever. I wouldn't have to get into that. But so what's the point of school in general? One of the reasons why I quit is that I was like, well, at the time, United States was number 27 in math of all the countries we count as countries, because that's already racist, but like whatever. There's countries we don't even count on the list. But we say that we're number 27. I think like countries that are up there is like Singapore does really well, and like these other schools, Singapore's like number one right now. Singapore's mad smart. So
man,
United States is number 27 in math.
How y'all feel about that, Americans? We're losing out to Singapore. I can't even spell Singapore, which is probably why we're losing out.
Yeah, why we're losing out.
I digress.
So I'm like, wait a second. If we're doing so poorly and all of our kids have bad grades, everyone in the United States has bad grades. These school closures, forget about it. The kids were already dumb. They were already dumb. Now they're a fucking mess. So they're ripe for the picking, either to like join a gang, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
do
Join whatever
something
the hell
like,
you try to push at them to make them
yeah,
feel like
whatever.
some
There's so
sort of
many
anything.
versions of, yeah, so they're ready. And I started realizing as I got older, one of the reasons why I quit, I didn't know at the time, but like, okay, we're talking about bills. You get a bill. Okay. That piece of paper, in order for you to follow what it says, you need to connect it back to your childhood, to your parents yelling at you or your guardian. Why were they yelling at you? They're yelling at you because you got a bad grade. Where did the bad grade appear? It appeared on a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? That piece of paper and that feeling of fear, it comes from the school. Okay. The reason we give tests is not to make the kids smart, not to test to see whether or not he learned the material. It's to get him to fear a piece of paper. That's the purpose of it.
And it's also to get funding from the feds too. It's a way
Say
to
that
get
again?
It's a way to get funding from the feds. Those test scores directly correlate with how much money you're going to get from the state, at least in New Jersey. You know.
Well, that's new. That's newer. But I'm saying if you look at the history of schools,
Yeah, I get what you're saying, dude. I 100% get what you're saying.
If think about it, if you didn't go to school and someone gave you a piece of paper and it says you owe me 50 grand, you have to move out of your house. You'd be like, what? I'm in. It wouldn't make sense to you. A piece of paper shouldn't control. You know how many people get an eviction notice and then they leave? It's insane. If you have a residential house and you find one, there's a list of violations. If you find one violation on this list the government gives you, that eviction notice is irrelevant. Okay? Because you can't evict someone while you have a certain type of violation. So for me, I've gotten so many eviction notices. I've gotten so many closure. Bro, and it's funny, they hire these mob sounding guys, to try to intimidate you. It's like, bro, but what are you really going to do though? You know what I mean? Like, what are you actually going to do?
That's what I asked.
You know
I literally asked that question. I said, like, listen, if I don't pay you, and the guy's like, yeah. I said, are you going to come to my house and beat me up? And he was like, what? And I said, are you going to come to my house and kick my ass if I don't send you a check? He said, we don't work like that. And I said, good, go fuck yourself. And I hung up. I haven't heard from him since.
Every day I get a phone call that it's like, can we please speak to Danny Carabano? And I'm like, he's not here at the moment. Can I take a message?
Yeah. Oh, no, the best is when I say who's calling and he goes, we got a personal matter.
Oh, my God.
Garcia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? I go, hold on a second. I'll go get him. And I just hang up the phone.
Exactly.
Fuck. And then I block the number.
You know, for me, I have like a little bit of shit. I can't think of the word. You know, the phone, you pick up the phone and you just hear beep.
Yeah.
Beep. It's like, cause they're recording you. And I'm just like, all right, this conversation's over. Thank you. So it's just, but so many people just send the check. So many people evict themselves from their home for non-payment when they could just squat. Like, if you have a kid and it's in New York, if it's between the months of like November and February or December and February, you're not allowed to be evicted no matter how much you owe.
Yeah. See, I'm not really, in most circumstances, I'm like dead set against being able to squat, because like, say if you're renting the building from somebody, just a small business owner who's got like 2 or 3 properties, like because you're fucking up his money. You know what I mean? That ain't right.
Yeah.
Well,
no, yeah, I understand that. I'm just talking about, it depends on who you want to fuck over, but I'm just saying, like, well, think about it. That business owner is going to follow the law, so they're going to go to the marshal and get you physically evicted. But if the law says during November and February, like, why is it, if you know more about the law.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
These people are going to use it against you.
Yeah, 100%. You should use it against
you. Know what I'm saying?
So
I
agree with that. 100%.
Straight up squatting is weird. And it's just it's going to catch up to you in the end, because there's exceptions to any rule, but I agree with you on half of what you're saying. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm a big believer on paying what you owe. But then at the same time, like when we were in COVID and in lockdown, and my landlord, I mean, he was pretty cool, but he was annoying me a lot about like every other fucking week, like, where is this? Where is this? And I'm like, I'm waiting for them to send me money. I mean, I'm a comedian. When they locked everything down, 2 days later, I was broke. I didn't have nothing to rely on to get me through 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? The minute they locked me down, I became instantly broke. And my, my landlord kept asking me for the rent, and I was like, dude, what do you want me to tell you? They won't let me go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want me to tell you? When it comes to things like that, it's like, I'm not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just gonna leave because you told me I'm not just leaving. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go through all the channels to get me out.
Yep.
And hopefully
Yeah.
by the end of all those channels, I'll be able, when they physically tell me I have to leave, hopefully I'll be able to do what I gotta do. But I'm not just leaving. My next door neighbor got an eviction notice. I told you about that. She's still there.
Yep.
And I think they're moving people in. And she's still there. They told her she's supposed to be out last week.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like my mom owned a building and one of the people squatted, and I went to court with her the whole time. And then even after you get the win and they get the marshal, so they owed her like 11.5. And she couldn't afford a lawyer. So I know the paperwork. I know how to do all that shit. We show up to court. It's just a debt on their end. It's still just another piece of paper. So we're just holding a piece of paper that says that they owe us 11.5. But that doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
You're never gonna get it.
Yeah, you don't get it. So it's just like, so it definitely sucks. But again, like if some building owner owns a building through like a corporation and that corporation got bailed out, maybe, we don't know. Are they going to tell us what money they got from the government? Like that's another thing they're all very quiet about, So
why aren't they forgiving fucking my credit cards, man?
Yeah.
Why aren't they forgiving my credit card debt? I took out more money than I could afford to pay back.
So it's like the thing is like as much as
I think I fit the criteria.
Like student loan forgiveness to me is like, fine, maybe. I mean, I don't think it's not the smart way to go. Everyone should have just stopped paying their student loans at the same time, and it would have been jointly forgiven. And a bank might have gone out of business. A couple of these lending companies would have gone out of business, but we would have been better off. Overall, the value of the country would have gone up. But whatever, we didn't do it that way.
The loan forgiveness thing is really interesting because me and G talked about this on the other episode. And the reason that the cost for education went higher is because the government started backing these loans, right? The government started giving the loans and the grants out. But the thing was that money never really even existed, right? The government created this federal student loan program with money out of thin air, right? So they did that to give people really like me, middle class to lower middle class, white kids who, more opportunity to be able to go to these schools that were really for upper middle class and higher, right? So when the government started flushing all this money out, it created every small shit town now has a college with uneducated professors, right? Because there's too many of them. And we've talked about on the show too, like 57% of the adults in the US are like literate on like a 6th grade reading level. So most Americans are fucking dumb, right? Most of them are very stupid.
What a shame.
So the government, has all this money. They start building all of these schools, and guys like me are taking out these loans, and you too, right? I'm sure you took out a student loan to go to school, right? Yeah. You said that. So we take out these loans that are now for a higher dollar value because now there's more money in the system. So it's guaranteed. It's like Section 8 housing. The government is guaranteeing that they're going to pay this money. So the cost can keep going up. It's the same thing with medical care costs also. If the government is going to pay for it, the cost is going to steadily rise. That's why that's why you see states like Florida, where all this plastic and elective surgery, the cost is lower because the competition's increased, right? So this money actually never came from anywhere. So the government is giving us money that they don't actually have, right? That isn't backed by anything. So
what money is backed by anything? When they gave us all $1,200 checks, do you think that was backed by anything?
Same thing, bro. Same exact situation. So now what they're trying to do is this money that they gave us that wasn't backed by anything. What they're trying to
get that back.
They're trying to get it back, yes, in tax revenue, but what they really want to get it back is they want to get it back from us to dump the money back into the economy. Because, bro, I can't buy anything. I can't buy a fucking house. I can't buy a new car. I can't dump any significant.
You will own nothing and be happy. Baby, that's the reset, and we're in it. You will own nothing and be happy.
We have to remember
right now, I'm happy. I got another car I don't own. I have a brand new car that I don't own, and I'm happy. I'm like, I love this car that I pretend to own.
Yep. I just learned this recently.
And by the way, I want to go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I feel like I don't want to say the first like person who was into globalism was like Nixon was the one who was really, he was kind of into that, and he was the one who got us off the gold standard. And he gave this fucking speech. Nixon's involved in so much shit, and everyone says he was a shady prick, but he got us off the gold standard. I gave us some speech about some. My friend was telling me this. My friend went to Harvard Business School, and he was saying that he loves Nixon because Nixon could fucking convince people of anything. You know, Nixon was the one president when we were doing the moon landing. He did the phone call to the moon while getting us off the gold standard. When they spent 5% of the GDP on that moon landing, by the way, five
That
of
never
every
happened.
$100 that was made in the whole country went to that moon landing
Do you
in
think?
1969.
I think we asked this of everybody who comes on here, but do you think we landed on the moon?
Why don't we pull up the post interview of the astronauts and you can tell me? Can you pull up the post interview of the astronauts when they get back? So they had to be in quarantine. So they got back July 24th, 1969. And then they had to be in quarantine for a few days because all the moon germs, you know?
all those moon germs out
you
there.
You never know how sick you might get in Arizona.
They came
so anyway,
back
the point
with some fucking space herpes.
Yeah, so the space herpes, you have to make sure. But the interview, the post interview of these guys is, I mean, there's the two things I say, so I don't have to say what I believe, but the post interview and then the phone call with Nixon is beautiful.
Is it from the Face the Nation? Is that the interview you're talking about?
I don't know. There's the three of them are sitting at a panel, and they're asking them. They're like,
"Is this it?"
Once I see them, it's not a one-on-one. It's the three of them in a panel together.
Okay.
So the phone call with Nixon is beautiful. I mean, yo, I remember when I called Venezuela.
This is them right here. This is it right here. Good. Let's see this shit.
Hold on. Let me make sure you guys can hear it.
These guys just came back from the moon, by the way, so they should be.
These guys just came back from the moon, by the way.
Could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't recall which stars we could see. Is already beautiful stars.
I don't remember seeing any.
I don't remember seeing any.
I don't remember seeing any stars in space.
I don't remember seeing any.
These guys look shook as fuck, in my opinion.
I don't remember seeing any.
Neil, you were.
I'm gonna try to see if I can find a full version of that interview.
I mean, every time I think it was Neil Armstrong who punched that dude in the face because he asked him, "Did you really land on the moon?"
Exactly.
Instead of answering, he punched him in the face.
The guy just asked him if he saw any stars when he went to the moon, and he also said, "I don't recall." You don't recall the most momentous moment of your entire life? You don't remember if you saw stars? I don't know if I saw any stars. There was so much
going on.
There was just so much. There was just. I was very busy with the levers and the bouncing. He doesn't recall. To me, that's already there. But to me, it's their mood. They're so blatantly nervous and upset. Like they're not elated. There would be feelings of victory, of success.
Yes, you know? I agree.
Yeah, and then,
there's nothing there like, yeah, we did this shit.
Yeah, like, yo, this shit was amazing. Like, none of that. That's already, to me, a little.
I found that it's a little long, but there's like an hour and 20-minute video of that whole press conference that we can watch.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean, we won't, but.
I mean,
yeah, we won't, yeah.
Just
and then
pick a spot.
So there was a time, there was a time when I called Venezuela with WhatsApp, okay? This was like 5-6 years ago. And if you call Venezuela with WhatsApp, you would talk and you would wait like 2 full seconds. And then it would actually, then they would talk. So there was a 4-second delay because it was 2 seconds for them to hear me and then 2 seconds for their voice to get to me. So calling Venezuela from New York had a 4-second delay. But Nixon on a landline, he calls the moon and there's not always a delay. And I love it. It's just,
I always said that.
Stuff.
I always said I go to fucking Ohio and I can't get reception on my fucking 2022 phone. The newest version. I go to Ohio, can't even get reception, can't make a phone call. These motherfuckers was calling the moon.
On
It
a
was calling
landline.
the moon, you know, and not a problem. We heard them. I don't even think a call got dropped.
No calls.
I don't even think they dropped a call, dog.
You know what? Maybe the ship that went to the moon, they kept a wire on it, and it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was not even
in case they couldn't figure out the gravity thing and they had to
those
pull it back
telephones.
in.
Yeah, that one
They're like,
telephone
listen.
cable, that skinny ass little phone jack.
They're like, listen, the engines are blown. They're fucked. The engine's blown, but do not worry. We're just gonna pull them back from the phone wire. We're just gonna reel them in from the phone wire, yo.
They spared no expense, you know?
Yeah, man. And the fact that we just don't, like, now they're talking about going back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're talking about going back to the moon now, man.
They've been talking about going back forever, bro. It's just like, it would just have been done so many times. You know that? You should look up the video where the guy says he lost the technology. That one is amazing.
He lost the technology to go to the moon?
So it's called the something with a T data. So, okay, you have to use gravitational forces and not just brute strength of rockets. So you have to leave Earth's orbit, and then you have to end up in the moon's orbit as it's going around. It has to catch you up. You know what I'm saying? So there's like data. I gotta think of the name. You have to do all this calculus to figure it out. It's because you have to leave one orbit while the moon. You have to leave at a certain time.
Right. Yeah.
In a certain direction.
In the window. Yep.
So it's called the.
Yeah, I think T data or something like that. I feel like you were right when you were saying that.
The T stands for something. Yeah. So I want to give the real word. So the guy, when you ask the NASA guy, where's the data? You know, and he's like, oh, it's like a VHS. He's like, oh, we've recorded over it. I was like, dude, you cannot be serious.
He was making a porn video with the secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
And they recorded over it by accident. Imagine some shit like that.
That's a funny skit.
You sitting there banging your secretary, you're like, let's get this on film so I can watch it later. And you record over all the shit they need to get back to the moon.
Let me try to look it up.
And then at the end of the video, right after you bust a nut, it goes back to the video, and the guy's like, and that's all you need to know to get to the moon.
So we were talking about something. We were talking about something earlier.
What sucks
about Nixon? You were saying about Nixon and how you think he had control. I was watching this documentary, and Gary, I think I told you about it. It was from JFK to 9/11. Everything is a rich man's trick.
It's a rich man. Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, so
it's an amazing documentary.
The best part about that is the guy outlines the Industrial Revolution in the U.S. and then who gets power from that. And then there were these two guys, John, I think Allen Dulles, the Dulles brothers, who were lawyers in the U.S. that they have airports and shit named after them in D.C. Dulles Airport's like the biggest airport. But these two motherfuckers were lawyers who wrote the Treaty of Versailles, which basically dictated how the world was going to run post World War I. Two American guys wrote everything about the treaty, which that treaty, right? The Treaty of Versailles ended World War I. And in Article 231, I think it was, Germany was charged like $300 billion in reparations that they were going to have to pay. And the calculation on it was like, in order for them to pay it back, they would have had to do 75 years of hard labor for the rest of the world in order to pay the debt off. So that sank, Germany.
Paper.
It took Germany. It took Germany, bro, into this deep recession, right? Which allowed Hitler to come into power because the economy in the country was in turmoil.
Yeah.
Right. And then the Harriman brothers and the Dulles brothers, right? These railroad guys and these lawyers and other big capitalists in America, like Rockefeller, right? All these guys, they saw communism taking over in Russia, and they didn't want that to spread into Europe, right? And the thing that we get fucked up about in the U.S. is, we're protected. We're protected by big ass bodies of water all around us, right? Where Europe isn't like that. Like, bro, you can march through fucking Europe Like it's fucking it's nothing. Like the entirety of Europe is like the size of the US. You know, Russia could just march on that motherfucker in an instant. And I mean, they're kind of trying to do it right now. But the Americans were the ones who propped up Hitler in the military. Like,
of course, we were big fans of Hitler. We supported him a lot.
If you think about, you know, what happened to Germany after World War I, it was completely fucking decimated. And then in 20 years, they built up this huge, powerful army that no one has ever seen fucking before. And they all did it with American fucking dough.
American ingenuity, baby.
Wow.
All the railroads
in that movie, it says
camps.
if Rockefeller, he's what is it? The steel, U.S. Steel. Yeah. If they didn't send them ball bearings, the war would have been over. The U.S. Steel, it would have been over because those are the ball bearings they needed for
ball
their
bearings
and all
engines,
that shit. If they
trains,
didn't send those shits over,
Ford,
didn't this guy do
Ford engines,
all those engines
tanks?
and all those Jeeps, people think of German engines. They're all Fords.
Wow,
all Fords.
Wasn't it even who was the clothing? They made the uniforms or whatever. I think that was a U.S.
Yeah, he wasn't U.S.
They just came here. It was
that was what's her name? Coco Chanel. Yeah. Is that who that was? Is that who that was?
There was one. I heard that there was.
No, it wasn't Hugo Boss. It was
Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
Oh, side note, the data is called telemetry data.
Telemetry data.
Yeah, it was with a T, but
telemetry. Like I fly drones, and there's a bunch of telemetry data in that too. That's just like gyroscopes and shit like that, and
interesting,
sensing like the way it is. It's actually the drone stuff that I use is because of NASA technology that we have them now. So they say. But the major drone company in the U.S. Here's another little conspiracy theory for you: is called DJI. They're like the Apple of the drone technology, like market dominator, right? Based out of Shenzhen in China, completely owned and operated by the Chinese state.
Really?
Dude.
Oh yeah. In the app, it tracks everything, dude. Like. Wherever I fly, you know, it does flight pass, it sends videos, it does everything, and just sends that shit right back to China.
Wow.
So I've been looking into this thing called the fourth turn. Have you heard about that?
No.
The fourth turn. Apparently, I just started looking into it, and apparently it's not a conspiracy theory as much as it is a theory. The book was written in 1990 something. And the theory is that all great, what do they call them? Like the all great empires, they have like a certain number of years. Like if you go from the Civil War to the next big war we had that like changed everything, and then you go into World War II, which changed everything. All of those took place within a certain amount of years, and in each year, it goes by like each generation. Like Generation X, the baby boomers, all that shit. So supposedly we are on the fourth turn, which is basically the end of, each civilization kind of comes to an end, not completely where everybody's demolished, but everything changes.
Here, check this out, G.
And the old goes. So supposedly we are in the fourth turn now. And they're supposed to all be like a certain amount of years between each one. And supposedly right now we're in the fourth turn. And the dude wrote this book in the 90s when we were like just coming out of the third turn. And he was saying all the things that were going to happen in 2000. And all the stuff he wrote in the book is coming to pass. And he's saying it's not like he's predicting this shit. It's that history always will repeat itself. It's the first thing we're taught when we go to school. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
To be honest, we were taught a lot of good stuff back in the day. But anyway, not to cut you off. Like, like when we were younger, it was like lawyers, like politicians are gonna just steal your money. The lawyer's gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like we were told a lot of like simple things that today's people forgot about.
Yeah,
real simple. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's the marketing too, man. The marketing now is just nuts. We're just inundated with lies all the time. Like,
well, supposedly, like I said, I'm gonna look more into it. It's a very interesting thing, man. And what was it that you had up there just now, Brian?
So G, me and you were actually talking about a couple different things. So this is that fourth turns theory is known as the Strauss-Howe generational theory, devised by these two guys, which theorizes recurring generational cycles in American and Western history.
Yes.
So basically, it's saying each generational persona unleashes a new era called the turning, lasting around 20 to 25 years.
Yep.
Which a new social, political, and economic climate or mood exists. And they are part of a larger cyclical saculum, long human life, which usually spans between 80 and 100 years. Some people, and these numbers aren't completely.
Wait. Go back real quick, because the next line there is what's important right there, and this is where we are. The theory states that a crisis reoccurs in American history after every cyclum, which is followed by a recovery, which is a high. So that means that's where like, the country is doing good. That's our high. And for us, I think the last one, which is putting us in the fourth term, supposedly the last one would have been World War II, where when we came out of World War II, we was in the high.
Yeah. So here are a couple, things you can look at. Like, okay, the Revolutionary War, the Awakening generation, the Liberty generation, the Republican generation, the Compromise.
And the compromise generation is what I was growing in with, which is where they started giving in.
This is actually a little bit. This is from the Revolutionary War period.
Yeah, but I'm saying
in America,
but it all repeats itself.
Exactly.
Right. That would be we would be like kind of like on this. There's the great.
Yeah, this is
where
we are.
Yeah, the GI generation would probably be what, like World War II. What do you consider, G? You baby boomer?
No, I'm Generation X.
Generation X.
Yeah. Generation X. And then you got the millennials, 1982 to 2004, which he claims those are the heroes. That's the generation of the next heroes, supposedly. Like I said, I want to look more into it. It's very interesting, man. If anybody knows about this stuff, man, feel free to let us know what you know about it in the comments.
This was something that I had that ran in parallel. This document is called The Fate of Empires by this guy, John Glubb. And he basically theorized something pretty similar, but on a grander scale about empires. And he states that each empire or global superpower runs about 250 years.
Yes.
Of their power. And within that are these turning points, which these other guys have identified. That's more on the smaller level. But on a bigger empire, I mean, you can look at, like, if Britain dominated from 1700 to really post World War II, when the U.S. kind of dominated, right? And we also had it really from the late 1800s until now. So, like, our 250-year reign
is coming to a close.
And now the Chinese reign.
And also, they also say, if you go back and you look at the fall of all those great empires, it's always when morality was lost.
And this guy,
the minute an empire loses its morality, it collapses. And if you look at where we're going now, everything, I mean, the truth of the matter is, whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it, everything that the left, the fucking, far left is trying to push, the libs are trying to push, is all just anti-God. It's all just anti-God, whatever goes against what the morals of God is, that's what they're against.
Here, check this
and
out.
That's what they're pushing.
He puts it out.
So like we always say, it really is good versus evil. At this particular point, that's what it is. It's good versus evil. And supposedly the millennials are our heroes. I think we're in trouble. I'm gonna be all right.
But everything repeats itself. What's happening is, because there is like a very open, especially in like democratic states, you can go outside right now and you can protest against Christians and it's fine. No one's going to stop you. You can say that Christians are, this, that, and the other. You can protest against religion. I mean, you can't really protest against mainly Christianity, Catholicism. Like, you can't really go out and protest probably, Judaism. You probably can't, you could protest Christianity for sure, and that won't be a problem. You can mock people. You can tell with comedy what you can get away with. If you mock Christians or mock people who believe in God in a liberal area, like, oh, these idiots, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very, like, that's definitely allowed right now, and it's at an all time. But these are like more like, I don't think it's about morality, because, like, to me, I'm really big into racism. You know what I mean? I don't know how to word that, but like, I really see, as someone who's like half white, half Colombian, people think I'm Italian all the time. And I grew up in
That's
what's
what
called
I
like,
thought. Carabano. That's what I thought.
yeah.
I thought
So,
you
and
were
I don't, because
Italian.
I don't put the Enya or whatever.
Right.
So the amount of open racism I've heard because people are like, yo, bro, these fucking blank beep, 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 beep. I'm just like, yo, like my own father's Colombian. He's racist against Colombians. You know what I'm saying? So racism runs deep. You know what I mean? Like he's been convinced that white people are smarter. Like he's been convinced that there's genetic differences. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think he wanted to have kids with a white woman? Because he wanted to better his bloodline. He wants to, you know, there's like a saying for it.
Yep.
It's like something la raza. It's in Spanish. It's like anyway. So the point is, I've seen it in so many different angles. So I don't think that this country was moral per se before, you know. So I don't think we're less
understand what you're
moral
saying.
now. You know, I think we just are doing different direction because, yeah. So blatant racism is something I've seen so much, but to me, it's more about like what are the pillars of this country? It's like marriage, capitalism, and Christianity. So those three things, capitalism is like holding strong. I mean, it's not holding strong. Trust me, it's not. I mean, it's not holding strong, but people still somehow believe in it. But the idea that if you want to mock capitalism and bash it, besides the fact that we are crumbling economically, I mean, people aren't admitting it, but it's just happening.
Dude,
Christianity's under attack.
It's fucking bad.
It's really bad. It's so much worse than we even admit. Maybe not us three, but like that people admit, especially people who were doing well. 10 years, people who went to school, they got the good job, they put the work in. The real issue here is the ego, you know, because they don't want to admit it to themselves about what's going on. They're ready, they're too deep, you know what I mean? Like
they're in ready, too deep.
They're in
turn
too
it back
deep.
now.
They're like, yo, I went to school, grad school, I studied so hard. I've been at this corporate job this whole time. There's a 401k. I have all these things. It's like, do you though? You know, these are more, they're talking about, they're showing us all these pieces of paper. Look at my diploma. Look at my bank account. And it's like, yo, that could be gone overnight.
I know.
You
Yo,
know
what
what I mean?
what if, right? And this is very fucking possible. Something happened. I think it was like in the late 17 or 1800s where there was like a solar flare and everyone freaked the fuck out because they had no idea what it was. Right. And there was just this like, it was like bright for like a couple fucking days and nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Now, if that happens now, everything is fucking gone, bro. The internet is gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What happens when you wake up one day?
Gone.
What happens when you wake up one day? You go to check your bank account and your phone won't even go online.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. That's it. It's just, and then they come on TV and they go, listen, you know, we had a solar flare or whatever the fuck they want to throw at us, and everything's gone.
Yeah,
all I'd be mad about is my pictures.
Yeah,
well, I'd just be mad that all my pictures are gone. That's what I'd be mad about.
For me, if that happens, that would mean my bank accounts went up. You know what I'm saying? Because
that for me wouldn't be a problem.
My bank account right now is like negative 900. So if I show up and it says 0, I'm like, yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Boy, I just made 9 bills.
I constantly say that's the good thing about having to struggle and be a hustler all your life, because when these big things happen, they don't really affect you. You know, like I remember when we had the last recession, right before Obama, we went into a recession or something like that, or during Obama, we went to, and someone was like, how'd you make it through the recession? And I was like, what recession? You know what I'm saying? When the subprime houses, I bought my house during subprime. I got myself a $700,000 house with no money down. Crazy. And I was making probably like $800 a week. And I got myself a $700,000 house, 2-family house, no money down. And they gave it to me because they were expecting me to lose it.
Yeah.
But when the subprime houses came, it didn't affect me because I was always struggling to pay my mortgage.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was like when that shit hit and people weren't, I can't afford this. Motherfucker, you didn't know your mortgage was coming up? It's like rent, dog. You got to pay it every month.
Yeah.
You know, so what happened that you didn't? For me, I was out there painting houses, doing whatever I had to do to make sure I paid my bills, and I kept my house through the whole subprime shit. And now it's worth a little over $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
nice.
Because I've always struggled, none of that shit affected me.
Right.
I just kept doing what I do. And the only reason why COVID affected me was because they told me I couldn't do what it is I do.
And shut me
Mhm.
down too, bro. I had the video business that was pretty much entirely based on AC jokes.
Yeah.
And your shit got shut down.
Mm.
I had to go get a job doing landscaping at a golf course. I mean, fortunately
Wow.
for me, I was, I have
Isn't that crazy? Everything
That's
was
such a
shut
fancy
down.
struggle.
Everything was shut down, but
He's
he
like,
was
bro,
selling
that's so
he was
white.
working at a
You know
golf
what I mean?
course.
Yeah, but I
he's
mean,
like,
dude,
yo,
I
my
wasn't.
life was so hard. I had to be on the fucking the 8th hole every day.
No, see, that's where both y'all got it twisted.
I'm giving a shit about this already.
To what I was doing.
About...
I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and working 12-hour fucking shifts outside
to make
doing
sure that
hard
those
landscaping
elitists,
work.
to make sure that those elitists had nice flat grass to hit their balls while everybody else was locked down.
Fucking right, bro. While my business got taken away from me and the government
Wait,
said
people
I
were still
couldn't
playing
work.
golf?
Yeah, they were playing golf, bro.
Fucking scumbags.
We took pool noodles and cut them into like pieces like this size and shoved them down in the hole. So when you hit your ball in, it just dropped in a little bit, so you didn't have to touch it and you can move it. You can move it. Those were the COVID restrictions
Dude,
at the corporate.
It's so
Those
funny
were the
because,
COVID
look,
restrictions.
It's like, this is called, there's a word for that. I'll think of it. Basic science tells you that things don't, like, they have to go from human to human because it needs a host, so it can't live on inanimate objects. Like, that was based, and I was watching everyone washing their fucking groceries, and I'm like, we learned this when we were like 11, and they taught us this. Maybe Brooklyn Tech, because I also went to Brooklyn Tech. I didn't just teach there. But I know I took, fine, maybe I was 14 in biology class, and they were explaining that when the thing's on the surface, it doesn't live. You know what I'm saying? It dies when it's on the surface because once it hits oxygen or some bullshit. I don't even know if that's true. I don't believe anything anymore.
No. It was an airborne illness, dude. It was a respiratory illness. You know, the shit transmitted through the fucking air and the spit and the particles and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you spit on a golf ball and it sits there,
it's not
and then you grab the golf ball, it has to go live right from their internal to your internal. It has to go like that,
or carried through the air closely.
Yeah.
Danny, me and you were talking about something. I want to bring it up before we end this, man. One of the things that we were talking about was how through this whole thing, people like us, we saw what was going on. A bunch of other people like us, a lot of our listeners saw what was going on, didn't buy what they were selling, wound up getting into arguments with some of our closest friends, or people at least we thought were our closest friends, getting into disagreements, and motherfuckers telling us to go fuck ourselves because we weren't believing the science. And, people are dying. That's what people say. Gary, people are dying, Gary. Don't you care? And I'm like, well, people die every day, but not like this. Well, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? And it came out that we were right. It came out, it's proven we were right. Go back to my first episode. You'll see the shit we were kicking during the fucking shit, and you'll see we were right. That the mask didn't work, that the numbers they were giving us of the deaths of COVID wasn't the numbers. They were putting down anybody who died, who had COVID, so they lied through the whole shit. We knew they were lying. People stopped chilling with us, told us we were assholes, we were conspiracy theorists, we were bugging, we're stupid, we know nothing about science. And they wound up breaking out, and then everything came out that we were right. And not one of these motherfuckers ever hit me up, I see them afterwards.
Bro, they still fucking believe it. A lot of people do, bro.
None of them.
Yeah, no apologies.
Not one fucking apology. Not one knew was right. I hang with a bunch of people who tell jokes like they thought the way I think through this whole shit. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers wouldn't even come to my house, wouldn't let me go to their house, wouldn't get in my car with me. And now they're joking as if they always knew it was a lie. Not one fucking apology. Not that I want it. I don't even need an apology. How about I was wrong. Yo, I was wrong on that shit. That's crazy. I was wrong. No,
even
none
just
of
pick
that.
a specific issue. Like for me, in the very beginning of anything, like I said, I just don't believe anything I hear. But then I got COVID. So I'm like, okay, this is different than anything I ever had before. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I can't walk. That's weird. Fine. Okay. So I have it. And I believe in science. That's the thing. I am. That's what got me the most frustrated. So I have this disease And now I got better. It took me like 3-4 weeks.
Yes.
So then people telling me that all of a sudden that I can get it again right away. And I'm like, no, there's this thing in science, and maybe it's got a bad name because names fuck everything up. I guess we call it natural immunity. I don't know if that's a scientific term, but people think natural immunity means I'm worshiping the sun god, that the sun god is going to make me immune. That's not what it is. It's just saying I had the disease.
And my body is built up an immunity to it.
Like chickenpox.
Yeah. So it's like chickenpox. I had chickenpox.
No, that's viral. So
it's just basic viral science,
virus.
Right?
Yep.
So it's just a basic science. So what frustrated me is that, like, as someone who was trying to be intelligent about this, okay, I'm like, well, I have it. This is like right when the pandemic happened. There didn't even exist like this thing, this cure for or whatever, these things, they didn't even exist. Nothing existed. So I got hit with it. No one protected me. And I'm like, okay, well, I was okay. My mom was sick. So I'm like, okay, we got it. So I just one time posted the most innocent thing. Oh, in Europe, because in Europe, they had vaccine passports. And they said, but if you had COVID within 6 months, that also counted. So all I said was, hey, Europe counts it. Europe doesn't, I didn't mention this, but Europe doesn't mask kids also. The UK didn't mask kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, these are millions of people. And there's no negative consequence to this. Why don't we change those rules here? And people are like, how dare you? And I'm like, I'm telling you scientific things. Why are you getting mad at me? Like, so these people that got mad, that really hurt my feelings and shit. And I was like, yo, I'm not going to speak up anymore. I can't be more middle of the road than just quoting science. And you're telling me I'm a fucking asshole. Like, yo, I'm just telling you, look, not only do I believe in natural immunity, all of Europe does. You know what I'm saying? And they have vaccine passports, which are fucking wild, but they still allow that. The kids are not masked because the kids, for some reason, they're more, I don't know if it's because their mucus, they're in their passageway here has so much more it's so much better that it kills the disease before it gets to the lungs, before it gets to the bloodstream. I don't know all those rules, those science, but I know that they don't mask them for different reasons. I know that natural immunity is, again, the name sucks. Natural immunity sucks. It sounds like I'm being a hippie, like, yo.
But I mean, that's what it is. It's your natural.
That's the name.
It doesn't really sound that crazy.
It's not a great name. It doesn't sound crazy at all. It's exactly what it says it is. One of the few words that is exactly what it says it is. Natural, meaning it's just
I just thought those people who put me down.
Immunity.
Yeah, those people who put me down and were getting pissed at me, just say, hey, I shouldn't have talked to you that way, but nothing. You know what I mean? Like, just.
And that's the great thing, is they always brought up the science. And I would say, well, what about the scientist with all these fucking, credentials who are saying what I'm saying? It's not like I made this up. I'm listening to these scientists and I'm thinking they make more sense than your scientist.
The beauty is in the eye.
Because your scientists are telling us that I could walk into the V spot with a mask, wear the mask to the seat, and then once you seat me, I could take the mask off.
Or, okay, no, forget all that.
That's what their science was saying. My science was saying none of that shit matters. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
Yeah, if someone told me that they mandated N95 masks, okay, I still have my questions, but like, okay, but to say that you can wear a Mickey Mouse thing on your face for a respiratory virus, like, we need respiratory protection. Like, let's be smart about this. Like, maybe everyone I know got COVID. Every fucking person I know got it. Maybe because they were wearing their bandana over. You can't, the same thing you do to protect yourself against a fart can't be the thing you use to protect yourself against COVID. Like, and you can still smell a fart. You can
still smell
when
the fart.
you do this.
That's what I was going to say. You really can't protect yourself from
like,
a fart.
Can we just think a little bit more about this? But,
people are dumb.
The average person just
we are a dumb people, so in our defense, we're stupid. So I guess that's my friend's defense. I guess they're not my friends.
And we want to be liked. We want to be liked by our peers,
And the ego is strong.
That is such a human thing. It was funny, before we were doing the show, I was taking, like my morning shower, and I was thinking, I really was brainwashed as a kid in the education system. And
of course,
over the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years, maybe like, probably the last 10 years, since I was like 20, I've been deprogramming myself from all the shit that I was
Of
that I was
course.
taught, and it's fucking hard. It's hard. I had that realization in the shower. It's like I got fucking brainwashed.
Of course, but that's what they do. And the thing is, I mean, you gotta remember something though. In a sense, in brainwashing, I mean, everybody indoctrinates everybody.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Aren't we
it's
trying
like
to do our own thing right now?
indoctrination to get people. I mean, I don't care if you believe what I believe. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm just having the
I do.
conversation
I'm
of
trying to
common sense, which seems to be
am trying
something
to
that nobody
indoctrinate you.
wants to.
Yeah.
What happened?
I am trying to indoctrinate you into
Yeah.
believing the truth.
Yeah,
I mean, to an
I'm trying to
extent, that,
indoctrinate some of my friends to apologize once in a while. That's my mission. You know what I
I don't
mean?
even care. Listen, I don't need no one's apology. Just wake up, dog. I don't mean be woke. I mean, just wake up from your slumber, dude, and understand that if it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Stop putting your trust in someone who has that piece of paper. Like I got a piece of paper. Look, what is that? Stop that shit, man. Start using some of this up here. And if it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to ask a fucking question. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to make people afraid to even ask questions. You ask a question, you get shot down. You know what I'm saying? Even like with the whole trans thing that's going on now. You ask a question about trans, you're transphobic. You can't even ask a question. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're doing. They're attacking us being able to question anything. You just got to take it at face value. It doesn't make sense, but we said it, so that's
yeah. And if you take it a step backwards, it's about stopping connection. Because how do people, how are we going to get to know each other if we don't ask each other some questions?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just about I don't need. You know what? If you can't ask the first question, we can't learn more about you. We can't learn that we have so much in common, because everyone I know has a lot in common. There's like a certain number of types of people out there, but I cannot divide them, for example, by like Republican or Democrat. There's some things they maybe will have in common, but they have so much other stuff they don't have in common. Like that's one of the most, it's such a good cop, bad cop. I can't even anymore. It's like everyone thinks the other one is the bad cop. I like, what are you guys talking about?
I don't have much faith in either.
They're all
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just,
they're all against us.
so it just seems so obvious, but so many people, like one of my students from back in the day, and he's a great kid. I'm telling you, he means well. But if he says one more day, these fucking Republicans, it's just like, dude, you don't think, and he's black, and it's like, you don't think there's at least millions of, it's called, if you believe in systemic racism and you're saying that has to stop, but just none of the Democrats are racist, like, do you really think it's systemic in every pore of society except the Democrats? I can't do it. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, Democrats want to make everyone victims.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing. They want everyone to depend on government. That's what they want. They want a society that depends on them. And I've never went to the government to help me out ever. Like the only time I ever did unemployment is when they made me.
Yep.
And at that point, it was like, fuck you. You're not gonna let me go out to try to make my own money. Then yeah, I'm gonna take your money.
Yeah. And it's important too. Like we sit here and we're talking, but like I guarantee you, if we just had someone, there should be a game and it just lists issues. Okay, we're gonna disagree. I'm vegan, for example.
Yeah.
There's many other things we can
bring
bring
fun
up.
of y'all all the time on stage.
Exactly. I haven't had meat in 21 years.
We're living proof that everyone can get along.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're supposed to hate each other now because, you know what I'm saying? Because and like I care about it. You know what I mean? I've been doing it this January is going to be 20 years of me being vegan. And then before that, I was vegetarian a little bit. But the point is that like, how could you agree with everyone on everything? It just can't be possible. And then maybe if we get to know each other more, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll start fucking eating steak. I won't, but you know what I mean?
No, well, here's the thing. Will you be eating bugs?
You know what I'm saying? Like
they're trying to get us to eat bugs now.
Bro, fuck, I can't even eat that fucking Beyond Burger anymore. That shit is like, forget about bugs. I can't.
Bro.
Its main ingredient is canola oil. I'm like, yo, do you know about canola oil? And that's all of us. Both sides are getting fucked by canola oil.
Yep.
That shit stinks, bro.
You need to eat real food, people. Don't eat imitation anything.
Stay away from the soy.
Stay away from the soy.
But like, if something's a powder, I do like. Now I do like this thing called Shilajit, which I think is natural. You should look it up.
Yeah.
Shilajit is fucking dope, and it's like, I don't mind taking something from nature. You dehydrate it. I'm not a full hippie. I do eat sometimes the fake chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? Because,
Mm.
but I've been cutting out almost all the fake meats because not because all the chemicals, because the meat is also filled with chemical. You know what I
Right.
mean? The cow is filled with chemicals.
Yeah.
But to me, canola oil is nasty and it's in
Yeah.
everything, bro. A lot of the fake cheeses.
Same thing with these things. These are all
Mm.
vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol.
Oh, really?
This is also made in China too. So I just got
Oh,
this because
wow.
I'm trying to get off the smokes. But what do you think they're putting in this shit? I mean, it's directly.
Dude, you're
imported
not
from
gonna get off
China.
the you're gonna get off the smokes and onto that shit.
I know, yeah.
That
exactly.
lime
Yeah.
green stupid shit that you have in your hand. Yeah, that looks so fucking tough.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole fucking feminization of men right there, those fucking things. That's what it's part of. And they're obnoxious. All that smoke. They're fucking obnoxious, man.
I just feel like, you know, again, it's like I like this kind of thing. Like a lot of men don't want the responsibility. There's so many more men out there. And so what is it? Is a man supposed to be responsible, honest, hardworking? I mean, women can also be that, but the point is, let's say the stereotypes from the past. What about the men who just want to sit home and jerk off and fucking smoke weed all day? Like, is
They
it
become
feminine?
comedians.
Where is my voice?
They become comedians and podcasts.
Yeah,
You
they
know what I
become
mean?
comedians.
Like, I just think, you know, everything goes back and forth. So right now, if we go really hard against Christianity, for example, you're going to see in like 15, 20 years, it's going to bounce back the other way. You know what I mean?
I think it already started. I think it already is. I think more people are turning to religion because there's, you know, a lack of grounding.
Morals.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen more. And I
Mm.
think nationalism, you know, American nationalism is going to start to grow among all races, you know, black, white, Spanish. you
Yeah, I
know.
think, I mean, if
I
when
think the
people
nationalism is
really,
going to grow.
it's crazy because nationalism has its own problems, but you know, to me, that was one of the greatest defense. I mean, this has racism built into what I'm going to say, but like, you have someone who speaks with an accent, and they're like, "Oh, they're not one of us." But you
Yeah.
have like a black, white, and a Chinese dude who speak with the same exact accent, American accent. Yeah, it's them versus everyone else. You know what I mean? And I know there's inherently wrong things there, you know, but
That's what
But
I mean. I think that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back of the strength of the American people of all colors.
If
you
you
know?
if you're going by the theory of the fourth turn,
Mhm.
then we're about to hit another major calamity. There's going to be something major that is going to hit to shift everything back to where it all starts over again. If
It's
you're
been
going by,
nonstop.
by something major, revolution, civil war, something like that's going to pop off.
Mhm.
You heard me
Nuclear
say
attack?
it. You heard me say it. I'm not going to be out there with my musket, you know, because my generation ain't the heroes. It's going to be all you fucking.
He's
Be all you
already like,
motherfuckers.
yo, I'm flat-footed.
My generation's going to watch back and laugh.
Yeah.
But
Yo, we're gonna see Gary in a dress very soon.
never, dog. It's not going to happen.
He's
If you
like,
see me in a dress, it's an old picture.
ah, same for me. Sorry. Look, the fraternity didn't make me put that dress on. Okay, they asked me to, and I did it willfully. It was a great time. Sorry.
Every time
We're
I
being
told
honest.
Brian, every time I meet someone in the fraternity, I'm like, this dude saw all his boys' dicks. At some point or another, you saw all your boys' dicks. That's fraternity.
That was before the fraternity, though.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
I never
That
even
was
took showers in high school.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I wouldn't take a shower. All the dudes going in there taking showers. I was like, I'm not going in there with a bunch of naked dudes.
Yeah.
Wasn't in my shit, man. I was like, I ain't gonna do that shit, man.
Yo, a real man showers with his boys. Okay.
And helps him pick up the soap if he drops
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It's like I got you, bro. Like, you know.
Danny, if all people want to find you, how do they find you, man? What are you on? Instagram, Facebook? What's your joints?
Yeah, I got Instagram, TikTok. I haven't been on Facebook because it's a dark, disgusting place.
Shout out your Instagram handle.
Yeah,
so
what's your
Instagram and
handle?
Twitter, Mr. Carabano, I go by MR Carabano. So that's my Instagram and my Twitter.
It's funny
And-
because that's his last name, and he says it more white than I say it. Whenever I bring him up,
Yeah,
I'm like, give it up for Danny Carabano.
Yeah,
and he goes,
it's Carabano.
Carabano.
It is Carabano, but you know what I mean? You get. My father had some self-hatred issues growing up, so you know what I'm saying?
Dude, my
So,
mother
all
and
good.
father named me Gary.
Yeah, exactly.
I think somewhere in the future they knew we were gonna have to try to get jobs over the phone.
Yeah.
and they wanted my name to get me through the door. You know what
Hey,
I'm
Gare.
saying? Hey, Gare. Oh, that's the worst. That's what people, yeah, they do shit. Hey, what's up, Gare? I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
Gare. Don't,
Bear
nah.
Bear,
Yeah, I've got, believe that you're not the first person to say that dumb shit either.
obviously.
Anything coming up? You're going to be at the pair or anything within the next week? This will be out probably this early this week. So if you got
Okay,
anything
yeah,
coming
I'll
up in
be
the
at. I'm
future,
gonna do house shows. I'm gonna put myself up on St. Mark's Comedy Club at 8 o'clock Thursday, Friday, and Saturday next week.
St. Mark's Comedy Club, do they have an
Yep.
Instagram or
Yeah, St. Mark's Comedy. I
St.
think
Mark's
they're
Comedy? Follow them. This club,
yeah.
people, if you're in New York or you're visiting New York, St. Mark's Comedy Club is fucking fire. It's a
Thank
nice
you, bro.
small room. It's a little room, man. The energy is dope there. It's fucking beautiful. I remember the first time I played there. It was just in the back of the room, couple of tables. It was next to the swinging doors to the kitchen. So a
Yeah.
lot of times you'd be up there and a server would come by you while you
that.
were up there doing
Love
your
that.
thing. That place has come so fucking far. Just like
Yeah, man.
just like a Grizzly Pear, come so fucking far from what it was to what it is to becoming a legitimate, straight up comedy club. That to
Thank
go
you,
in
bro.
there, the minute you walk in, you know it's gonna be a hot fucking spot, man. The energy in
Thank
there
you,
is
bro. And you
so
gotta tell
fucking
me, you
beautiful.
gotta tell me when you're gonna be around so we can
I'm
jump
around
up
all the time on Mondays right now. But
Mondays.
if you give me advance, I'll shoot down, man. I love just
Okay,
getting
I'll
out
try
of
to
AC.
open on a Monday because we're closed Mondays, but I'll fucking open so we can fucking have some fun.
Yeah,
You know, why
man.
not? That's the point of owning a thing. You know what I mean? You just fucking we're open for
And we did that a
on
lot in your
random
place
Monday.
too. I remember that a lot of times we just come by and be like, "You guys want to do a show?"
Yeah.
And we'd be like, "What?" And they'd be like, "Want to do a show?" Then I'll go out and bark, and the next thing you know,
Yeah.
we out there
Dude,
barking,
you'll see
getting
the
on the
new
show.
setup is dope, man. You go in through the you'll see. Yeah, we got
Yeah, I
bleacher
haven't been where
seats.
the new
It's
setup, but yo,
yeah, the new
dude,
setup is fire, dude.
I remember
Definitely
when
come
I
through.
went back there. I don't know. I think your brother had me on the show back there, and when I went back there is when it was all changed, and
Mhm.
it blew my fucking head. My head was blown. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the same place." I couldn't believe it. I love the
Nice.
artwork. It's such a dope fucking comedy club, man. The
Yo,
way
I'm
it
I'm
is,
gonna keep
everybody's up close.
I'm
The
gonna
way
keep
a comedy
working,
club's
bro.
supposed to be.
Yep, I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep tearing up those eviction notices. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I appreciate your suggestion, but Gary and I need a show, got a show to put
Yo,
on.
dude,
So
we should do a thing called squatting for laughter. You know what I'm
yo,
saying? Yeah, we're
yeah.
squatting, but there's a purpose here, man. We're serving a bigger purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think squatting is wrong, then please give me some money so I can hook this landlord up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Comes to the shows and we'll pay. It's not that he don't want to pay, dog. He'll pay if
Yeah,
you guys come
exactly.
to the
Yo,
show.
I'm not
We'll
hoarding any
pay.
money. I tell you that right now. But
If
it's
you want
great,
to
man.
follow, if you want to follow my boy Brian, check out Brian at Brian the Video Guy on Instagram. Follow me, Gary G Garcia. Oh, and before I go, man, if you're looking for some weed out in Astoria, check out Apollo Buds. One of our
Nice.
great
Woo.
sponsors, Apollo Buds out in Astoria, Queens, New York. Go check them out, man. Tell them Rated G sent you. And if you're if the lockdown made you and your lady a little fucking angry at each other and you've been a little distant and you're trying to get closer, then go on to triplexplayground.com and pick yourself up. The best adult communication tool game ever. Triple X Playground. 2 rolls of the dice and you're fist deep inside a loved one. Check it out.
And after you're done doing all that rumpy pumpy in the bedroom and you still got a little bit of weed left, why don't you head on over to enditwasgood.net, the new official home of Rated G. We got several other podcasts hosted on here. We got some interviews with marijuana growers from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. We have a shop here, which will have some Rated G goodness, coffee mugs, G-string shirts, all the sort. We got a bunch of comedy clips, shorts, all other sort of shit like that. And it was good.
Yeah. And we're also going to get the llama shirts out there. You'll be able to get the rated G, Gary G Garcia llama shirts, which is only going to be limited. We're only going to do maybe about 100 of those joints. You know what I'm saying? I get tired of telling the joke, but grab your llama shirts on there as well. Or come out to the shows out in Atlantic City. Check me out on acjokes.com to see my schedule there. I'm there from Wednesdays to Sundays. And that's for Danny, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you.
We would have went
This was
longer,
awesome.
but he has things to do, and I I'm supposed to be there an hour ago selling tickets. I'm supposed to be selling tickets for the show tonight. I'm headlining. They got me selling tickets to the show. I'm headlining. What kind of shit is this?
That's fucked up.
Thank you
was
guys
mad
for checking
fun,
out.
though. Thank you, bro. This was so much fun. I really
Thank you
appreciate
guys
it.
for checking out another episode of Rated G. Danny, don't go nowhere. Thank you for checking out another episode of Rated G, man. We love that you guys keep listening. If you want to support and you ain't got money, just fucking like it, subscribe, leave some comments. That gets us flowing in the system. You know how it works, baby. Come on. Why do I always got to tell? Don't keep us a secret, man. Peace out, man.
Peace.